of a rot sea, so vast and full of liquid rot, the most like base form the eminent rot takes here. And soon you will arrive at what remains of the ancient world tree, now a mere broken and rotten stump, still towering hundreds and hundreds of feet above the ground, and still a massive structure, but a pale and paltry reflection of what it once was. At its heart, somewhere nestled deep in its roots, rests, you believe, a seed. Something that if Gray is brought to and gives some of his gift to, or whatever mark he's been bearing his entire life, it will perhaps be a rebirth of that tree and hopefully a cleansing of the rot from this place. This being the heart of the rot now in the world. So, you guys quickly descend, your last bit of rest taken care of, the hero's feast consumed for breakfast, the hero's brunch is devoured. You guys have 24 hours of the bonuses for that. I don't know if you still need to roll those things, like the temporary HP and stuff.
I believe I rolled it.
Or maximum HP, I think it is.
Roll, but I don't.
Plus 9 for me.
I had 12.
I rolled, but I think I assigned that to everyone, and then you said everyone roll your own.
There was some, like, you guys had already kind of started it, and, like, people wanted to roll their own, so I was like, go with my blessings. So.
Very blessed.
I feel so blessed.
Any other recap or business before your guys' no, Pasha, you're going to leave this alone.
Xerox is like Visigraph now?
Okay. I don't know. Mark, does Xerox feel different?
Xerox feels very different, in fact. You have felt at the same time as any like feeling of like exhaustion and stuff has kind of bled away from you. It's been somewhat replaced by a somewhat like cold distance from your own body. It's not like, it's just, it feels a little bit like you're just like very faintly numb or something, and you feel that your body is like kind of like reaching a slightly like lower kind of like resting temperature. You feel a little cold, but otherwise you feel strong, you feel healthy. The pain of the process by which your potential for, you know, an afterlife was consumed, that pain is past, and you feel much as you did. You're still kind of exploring that sensation, but you don't feel bad.
Are they able to partake in the hero's feast?
They certainly are.
It doesn't taste like ash in their mouth.
No, you receive all the benefits of the hero's feast as your companion.
Do you believe in magic?
Yeah. Xerox stands after consuming her heroes for the final heroes mimosa.
Such a beautiful image.
Perfect. Let's do this.
You have is the spelling of your name still the same? Is this like a Dracula Alucard situation? Are you Zorax now?
On good days, I'm Xerox. Other days, I'm Zorax.
Oh, police girl.
I love this picture of Xerox with a little flute of mimosa. Battle axe on the shoulder. Pinky out, you know.
When in doubt. Ugh.
So,
Oh shit, how do we D&D?
Been a while.
It's metal. So we eat. How close are we? Like, can we see, or are we still hidden
what do you
from the swamp? Like, how close are we to our objective of the tree?
We're in a little bit of a fluid moment to give you guys a chance to do any like
Fluid.
prior to like engagement with the enemy things you want to do. But we are kind of like on a little bit of fast forward towards your like actual approach.
Okay. Oh man, how do I want to do it? Can I take a look at the gunner spots as I am slightly nervous of killing people that made me angry? Is there any way to like give extra cover to the person gunning the gunner without compromising the
Folks.
visual abilities or shootingness of the guns?
What kind of supplies would you be bringing to bear to accomplish this?
Yarn. Mostly yarn. We still do have a lot of bellstone that I can potentially turn into anything.
With your
According to me.
application?
Yeah.
That'd be consuming spell slots. I am gonna say, since like we, last session we went through the watches and stuff, and overnight,
No more sleep.
You guys are after your long rest, and any resources now consumed will be on the day of your approach on the rock. So if you want to spend some of our kind of flexible hours here in the morning casting fabrication and consuming some high-level spell slots, you're more than welcome.
When you put it like that.
What, like some hirelings?
Yeah.
We would get more hirelings.
We can. That's very
Name some
true.
of
Them.
Once you give them names, you.
As I said, a chill goes through Ellis's.
Nah, I guess we'll leave it there. I'll look around, but I don't think we have anything that's like metal enough.
That being said, that concern you certainly like see as your approach is as you're like getting closer and closer and like drawing into the more and more noticeably affected atmosphere of the rot. Like you can tell that. I believe that we left off. I think you were maybe piloting.
About right.
So Gray, like you can sense as like Shippy is flying down lower and lower towards the tree and towards this ocean of rot. The air is that Shippy is flying through is getting like noticeably like Shippy's having to actually like pay attention to protecting your air supply.
From what?
From the toxic air coming up from the rot ocean.
The miasma.
Is it a specific sort of poison? Can I go out and breathe some since I'm immune to poison and try to figure out what it is?
I would say that you would have disadvantage on it. You can certainly try it. That you'd probably have disadvantage unless you went beyond the bounds of Shippy's protected air.
Does the
How far does
So
Shippy's
it's
protected
like
air go?
150 feet, probably.
do the things look like what infected me with rot?
Does what look like what? In fact?
The cloud pustule things.
So there are a couple things going on in the atmosphere that I'd like to remind everybody of, as well as we'll say that as you are looking at the ballista, there's a moment when Gray is at the back of the quarter deck, still piloting Shippy at the controls, having this sort of like intrinsic and almost like animalistic connection to Shippy that just feels so natural to fly through the air like a bird. if a little bit heavy and unwieldy compared to some of the bird forms you've taken.
It's like a moth right now,
yeah.
fluttering everywhere.
Xerox, you feel a draw to look at the clouds, these like storm clouds, if you recall, are that you're like approaching towards, and they are kind of just rolling in from the north, more or less like you've learned and identified from the direction of Loomis. But they are rolling in, and they are certainly in like this like force of magic and undeath, something is at odds and is combating the like region that the rot is controlling. And as you're like looking at these like rolling storm clouds that they're crackling necrotic green energy, you like can sense for a moment like one of these like immensely powerful bolts of necrotic lightning strike the ocean of the rot, and you can see that there's like this huge chunk of the the rot ocean that just like sand turned to glass from the explosion of this necrotic energy just like calcifies and dies. Like the rot itself is just like all life that the rot could feed off from the material that it's consuming in this ocean is just killed by the necrotic energy. These necrotic clouds are at war with the rot. And as you like look into this expanse, and as Shippy begins to descend into and among those clouds, you feel those clouds sort of part around you.
Xerox will walk towards the tuning fork section of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it.
And she'll say, does it look, when I see the necrotic energy reach out and smite where the rot is, how fast does the rot come back?
That's a great observation. It is burning away a drop of this ocean, effectively. I mean, it's much more than that, but the metaphor stands. This is stultifying the growth of the rot, the expansion of it, but it's not winning.
Oh, okay.
Like we can't just wait for it to blow the rot away.
I will turn to my companions and say, the mists seem to welcome me.
What?
Maybe this will help.
Is it speaking to you?
Not speaking, just stepping aside so that I can approach.
This is what we got.
That's new. Where is
It's
it?
all new.
Where is it coming from?
I don't know, I just get this general sense that we may not find a friend here, but a common enemy. More so.
I generally like to know who we're fighting with. I guess that's not really true. Sort of. When it's in cloud form.
Do I get the sense that there's a consciousness here?
No, you. I think that you feel a familiarity. You feel that this, and from the conversation you had with the Dark Star Prince over your watch last night, these storms are a manifestation of their power in the world, diffuse and, limited as it might be. And it certainly seems to recognize you or something. You get this feeling it's certainly not Shippy, it's not your companions, it's not all of you, it's you that it recognizes and is making way for.
Like, I feel that we may be safe among these clouds. If we wish to use them to shield us from her.
I like that. Is this different from the... Wasn't there like a current of something in the air that was from Rudis too?
There's like a.
You had a sensation. Like you have often, especially when you're using your magic, this connection as if you are floating atop the tides of the world. You can feel that flow and the connection, the power within that, and you can feel that extend out to the moon. You had that same sort of feeling, but with an alien sensation, with something new,
Right.
interacting with that connection with that system, and you felt and your attention was drawn up, and you saw Ratha. Yeah, close.
Yeah, Ratha.
All too close. Yeah. Even as you're thinking about this, your thoughts are somewhat distracted. Your attention pulled by, what is that? We're getting maybe a weird noise from you, Jared. Yeah, there might have been a little bit of feedback or something that was happening. I'm not sure.
At first it sounded like shuffling cards.
Yeah, yeah.
But then it gets going.
It's gone now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Alright, I think it was my phone being too close to something.
All right.
I'll go over here.
It's the 5Gs. It's activating your.
Your vaccines. Excellent. So now, Bill Gates, I'd like to welcome you to the team. Yeah, so you feel this new entry to that connection that your attention's pulled, and you feel Ratha, and then even as you're feeling that strange connection, your attention is distracted, is drawn away by that uncomfortable itch of your new rot infection that you gained from the world beneath. Give me an insight check, Carly. Quilla. Oh, shoot.
As good as I would like. That's so clever.
You're two, 'cause I like this so much.
17. Wow.
17. You, I know I have more pens or pencils around here somewhere. Does anybody have?
Actually, here's
Oh, I have a
another
bunch
one.
of stuff back there. But anyway, people have got you.
Got it. Thank you.
17. You feel a bolstering of yourself, of your resistance to the rot. Right now, you feel like there is an open wound that makes you vulnerable to the rot, and there is a strength rising up in you to resist that. And that insight check you Patient made a disgusting vomit noise, Jared. I'm not sure that came through. That insight check, you sense that strength is coming from Rotha. Oh, I don't think.
I don't think it was actual vomit.
It all got on Joel's sock. It's
Yeah.
fine.
I think she just made a little burpy, vomity noise and swallowed it back down like a good dog.
No, you can't keep a good dog down.
You actually can. There are chemicals that will do that.
I grip my rod of the Tidebringer a little bit tighter and just sort of try to lean into that sensation, that strengthening feeling. And then
Your rod of the Tidebringer's call, you can feel it sort of maybe like reattune or like welcome that connection, that strength. Your Tidebringer's call adds another +1 to its effects.
Ooh. Yay!
So I think it makes it +2 now.
Excellent.
Mark, from my vantage point, can I see any possible good spots to land-ish?
From where you are, you can look down and you see the great stump, and it has like the ocean of rot. Sometimes, like you can see the like waves and currents of it sometimes reveal more of what's beneath the surface and sometimes less. And you see it sometimes, those troughs you can see like reveals like this immense like expanse of roots that the tree is resting on. You I think would know obviously like trees are almost in many cases as extensive below ground as they are above, and like those roots go on deep into the earth. And this tree, just the scale of it, you can't just metaphorically at the very least, it seems as if this tree's roots could reach into the core of the world or around the whole world or something like so wild like that. So at times you see that the roots extend deep into this ocean of rot that you don't know how deep it goes. But something like surface exists at some level where you see the roots eventually, merge into the trunk of the tree. There's some amount of that like expanse that is exposed most of the time, at the very least, from the liquid of the rot.
And we think this seed is just directly beneath it.
Somewhere in the heart of that vast tangle of roots, I think that you got some information from the Whispered Litany, and I can't recall any I always have like various things in my head, and I sometimes forget which specific details I've given you. So I know, like Gray, you certainly have a connection to this. Remind me, have you made any attempts to like identify exactly where this seed might lie?
I mean, when Ray was giving his energy to it in his death, was there any telltale signs that he could see of where he was? It seemed like to me that he was at the bottom center of the tree, if I recall.
Yeah.
Like the heart of the roots.
Yeah, great. Yeah, absolutely. Give me just a quick, because you experienced this, what you're really looking at is your just like understanding of what you saw. So maybe like give me a nature check with advantage.
Okay.
The DC is not super high here. Yeah, you got it. Huge.
22.
You know that what you experienced in that like state when you were in stasis, awaiting resurrection by your companions, as the tree was testing you, that was not a literal environment. But the truth of it, you think, is very, it's similar to like the Feywild and stuff that you've experienced to some extent and like have heard big words talk on about for hours and hours when you're trying to sleep or eat bugs or whatever you do.
Both.
So
He's multifaceted.
you think that like that metaphorical world like sort of like overlays or overlaps with the real world in really significant ways, and that's certainly one of them, that this lies probably at the somewhere in the roots of the tree near the surface at the heart. So like this big stump of the tree that's like 100, 200 feet across, and expanding out from that is this vast network of roots, which the vast majority of is constantly covered by the rock swamp ocean. At various times, like waves, let you see more or less of it. And somewhere in that like cluster of roots, maybe you would guess within 100 or 200 feet of the surface, rests that hardened heart of the tree, where it's protected its most essential essence for hopefully a rebirth.
Gray no way. Kind of points off through the necrotic clouds. Remind me, when the necrotic lightning struck the rot and it died, did it instantly get like washed over with more rot?
Yeah, like that chunk, like what Xerox would have possibly described in what Xerox's experience was, like that chunk, like that necrotic lightning hit the rot ocean, and a big, like, it just kind of expanded out like electricity going through a material, and like, but it like some weird chunk of this just like calcified and died and began to sink to the bottom perhaps, and was just washed over by the greater expanse of the sea.
Okay.
And that evil asshole Litany told us, or Caesar Litany told us, that there is a crystal of power beneath the tree that is like a bellstone crystal. Is that similar to what Gray is feeling?
I think that at this point, Gray, you would certainly, with your insights and your like supernatural perspective into this and what you've seen, you think that that crystal is part of the protection of the seed itself. They're, if not like somehow inextricably woven together or something, like you're not sure exactly, but they're this node of magic that's been kind of essential to the tree for its entire life has become part of its last defense.
Interesting. We need to launch the Bellstone to save the tree.
I think.
Save the bellstone, save the world.
And because we've gone through like this campaign's big and long, the Bellstone bullet is not the same thing as the these like Bellstone crystal nodes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Bellstone bullet.
Say
you were
that
not
one
there
more
for
time.
that one. That was one of the things that the BHG did while you and Nazira were gone.
Okay.
That, they were just like, well, we don't know what we did. We did something.
We're not expecting another one of those, is what you're telling us.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're not going to drop Thoradin's hammer into the middle of the earth again.
Yes.
Okay. Good.
Unfortunately.
Quillen wants to do two things. She's gonna chat with Nazira about talking briefly to Bataria. Actually, I should have used the message thing they had to write a message to Bataria and make sure Bataria is safe and stable. And then temporarily for now, I'm gonna cross out Bataria's name from my protection thing and put my own name in there instead.
What would that? So does that mean anybody could write in your book, or like what is that? What effect would that have?
So if I put my name, it's not the messaging part, but the protection.
Protection,
part.
gotcha.
Yeah, the gift of the
Gotcha,
protector.
Yeah, absolutely. Nazira Bataria reports back, and Nazira, we'll say, is not going to put up a fuss here.
Yeah.
But Bataria.
I would chat with Nazira about it.
Yeah. We'll say that chat goes well. Sarah's not here.
Really well.
Super
Gives her all of her money.
Yeah. Bataria replies back that that the Gith are preparing to leave.
Okay.
They are going to go after one of the signals that they've detected through their oh man, what do they call it? Psychic inference. And they should be gone within the next few hours.
Okay.
Xerox's simulacrum has been most attentive to my safety.
Kill it.
And Togotas has
I
remained
ignore people.
ever vigilant of any threats the Gith might pose us. So I've so far been able to rein them in with Xerox's help.
Okay.
Oh man. Send Togotats.
Yeah. With her blessing, I will take her name out temporarily,
Mhm.
put my own in, just because we're at
Yeah.
greater risk here. And then, and Quilla will, what's the other thing? Oh, Quilla's gonna stick a pound or so of bellstone in the little satchel she carries. Just to have it, just in case they need it when they get off the ship. Like, want to have some on my person, and maybe suggest that a few other people do that too, just in case we need it when we get down there with the crystal, or if we could use it somehow.
Mm-hmm.
I'll throw some in the front pouch.
Fanny pack.
Fanny pack of holding.
Excellent.
Oh man, I should have made it a fanny pack instead of. No, I like the pocket. It's okay.
The whole name's awesome.
I like a pocket of holding, but
So you guys
now I
are,
really want a fanny pack.
Quilla's drawing you guys together, and you guys gather a little bit of bellstone, each of you. In that moment, you grab some bellstone and beep boop, and she reach out and grab it, kind of almost simultaneously. The deck of Shippy and the walls disappear, and you guys are flying
Fucking Christ.
through the air. And Shippy says, "Hi there. I've finished upgrading myself with the stealth field integration. How exciting! I feel like I don't even know where I am. Where does the air end and I begin? Who knows?
How long last?
Well, basically, if you cast this ability with the input of Bellstone, it should last for up to 6 hours before you need any more."
Okay.
And so now you're saying you're invisible for the next 6 hours?
I sure am.
Dope, bro. Good
If
job.
I take a lot of damage, I might need to change my focus to not falling apart, and it might become visible again.
How about this, Shippy? Let's just not take a bunch of damage.
I like that plan.
Excellent.
It seems like we're hurtling towards imminent and catastrophic danger, though.
Well, about that.
We'll slow down, and then we'll dodge.
There's a minefield that we still have to get through, right?
Yep.
Great. You're confident in your autopilot's abilities to do that, or is...
Not at all.
Great.
I'll require direct interaction by one of you.
Okay. How far away until we get to the closest mine?
I can't tell.
Hey,
Why-
Gray. How
why
far
not?
over is mine?
Soon!
Cool.
Step on it.
Are you ready?
Gray ready.
All right.
Rock die.
Yeah, we'll put it on the clock. You're about 15 minutes away from what you expect to be the outermost layer of the defenses the Arbinger of Rot has prepared. A vast aerial minefield, it seems. That grows difficult to see into the heart of at this point, as more and more of these things has begun to fill the air. They're certainly centered around the tree, and certainly more concentrated around its lower base and the roots themselves.
Can I tie a rope to myself into the ship side and then jump out and look from the bottom up? Do I see people floating in the air above Shippy, or
Oh,
well, I'm hanging down underneath of...
No, as you drop down, like first, you find it extraordinarily difficult to do what you're doing because the ropes are invisible, Shippy's invisible, the railing's invisible, everything's invisible except for you guys.
Okay.
So, you have a great memory.
Yeah.
Is your rope in your personal equipment?
Yes.
Yeah, you can pull that out. You stumble your way up to the top deck. You know roughly how far it is to the side of the railing. You stumble up. Shippy's railings are tall enough that you're not going to like trip over and just stumble out. So you blindly just ship your way over there, find it, tie it off, tie it around yourself, jump off. You absolutely see just like your party and like your hirelings like from below, just like walking around. You're dangling below.
Okay.
This far away from Shippy, that sense of the air's growing toxicity is more apparent.
Shippy's got some protection, or somebody else.
Shippy's. This is probably the standard 100-foot length of rope, unless you'd like to go farther. So
No, yeah,
80 feet away with some tied-off length. Shippy's ability to maintain safe air is depleting.
Okay.
You're also all immune to poison due to Hero's Feast.
Yeah, we are.
That's a lovely thing.
I've been.
We're also immune to being frightened. And we make all our wisdom saving throws with advantage.
Wait, we're immune to poison or resistant
Immune
to?
to poison.
Fuck yeah. So
Everybody, including the hirelings, with that?
I believe so, because
I think
12
was
creatures.
12. Yeah, you have fewer than that on the crew, so.
And we fed them to Shippy too.
Oh yeah, that's right.
There wasn't enough for ellipses, though.
how sad. Can I tell what type of poison we're dealing with? Like, what it might do to one's body?
You're familiar enough with the rot now that you know that this is the rot itself.
Okay.
In a the most dangerous form you've kind of come across it, at least. Like, this is like airborne rot cells that would get into your body and, well, like, actually I shouldn't give you too much information per se, but like, what method are you using to gain insight or knowledge into this effect?
My mechanical mouth and nose.
Okay. Yeah, give me a quick tinkering check.
Ooh, yay.
Yeah.
That's one spicy meatball. 18 plus 6 plus 5, 29.
Nice.
Yeah.
You, like, air passes over some, like, internal components you have that you realize are for, like, analysis of synthetic and organic material and stuff. Like, it's a more, like, highly advanced, like, form of smelling that's less experiential and just more informative, strangely enough. And this is, like I said, like, this is the rot. Like, this is airborne rot in its most primal form. Like, if this ocean of rot is the rot, like, concentrated and, like, ready to attack and consume the world, the airborne rot is like a slightly less potent form of that.
Okay.
But it's similar. It's something that will cling to what it can and begin consuming it if it can, from the inside out. So exposure to it builds up, and it's deadly to all life, or at least will transform all life into what's useful for the rot. And what's more, I think, with that check, I'll say that you gain an additional insight that this is not merely, at this point, in this location, a natural force. There is intention even behind this toxic rot in the air, and it is assaulting Shippy.
It's doing it on purpose. He knows we're here. I'll climb back up. Bloop, 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 bloop.
You do find, though, that with that exposure, one last insight is that the Hero's Feast you think will protect you from it.
Oh, thank God.
That was a pretty huge boon.
I'll go walk up to everybody. Hey, first off, I can see you from outside the ship, so light colors, whites, blues. Make sure you look air-like from below. And two, that is some very potent rot out there, and it will eat your soul if we're not out of here by the time Hero's Feast is gone. 8 hours, 12 hours, 24.
I think you said a week.
24 hours on the clock.
Quilla's like shreds there that she knows she has that like rot growth.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, Gray?
Quilla,
Great, okay.
you
Flying.
as Beepoot brings back this report about the rot, you feel like the rest of the party that your immunity is bolstered by the Hero's Feast. But you feel that immunity is not entire because of this vulnerability that the rot's infection is giving you. You fundamentally cannot become immune to this. You are resistant, however, thanks to that. So that is still giving you a strong benefit, and you feel that in this state you are. I'll kind of backlog this information. I'll say that with the bolstering influence you're gaining from Rafa in this moment, you are gaining immunity. But it is like these stacked
But it's
things
like
that are
this
like
combination,
layers
not-
of defense against that vulnerability presented by the rot's infection. Gray, you are similarly vulnerable, but this close you are finding a warm, bolstering strength from the proximity to the tree itself.
I
You
also
feel
have
that-
stat resistance or resilience.
Mhm. Yeah, that I don't like. I want to like really make apparent the
Trees benefit.
yeah, the trees benefit and like the potential harm that being this close to the heart of the rot is giving you guys. Like without that Hero's Feast, you guys would be on the clock, like getting progressively more like, you know, you'd be like doing reoccurring saves against the poison, and that toxicity would be like building up until you would potentially like die just from like the buildup. Similar to like extensive levels of fatigue can kill you even without dropping you to 0 HP. So that Hero's Feast is giving you a huge boon to just negate that at this stage. But you and Quilla share an inherent vulnerability that the Hero's Feast is only able to give you like kind of a stopgap. Like it's only able to give you, instead of vulnerability, it's giving you like, you know, just standard rolls. And then eventually, thanks to Quilla's connection or acceptance of this strength from Rafa and your connection to the tree, that's doing the second level, like getting you guys up to full immunity at this stage. But yeah, like that Hero's Feast is doing a huge amount of work for you guys, and you know, I set up the regional effects and stuff of this, and that is a huge boon. And you can feel as you're like breathing in, as like Shippy comes, as you guys draw closer and closer, Shippy becomes more and more unable to keep their air clean for you. That this magic is now stepping in to keep your bodies your own.
Can we tell if the rot will hurt Shippy at all?
Given time, it certainly will.
Okay.
Shippy is more than, you know, one additional person to a Hero's Feast. Shippy's a big boy, and this is giving him some additional protection. But I would say that Gray, especially with this insight that as you become aware of Shippy's struggling to maintain their own air, that that is a challenge, and that's like, you can see, you can kind of sense that that's a struggle that this living, like, shippy being, creature, ship thing will eventually, like any animal, like with that struggle, they'll like just wear and wear and wear until eventually it kills it. So Shippy couldn't live here.
Good to know.
So
Who wants to live here like this?
all
Does
that.
make you do?
Harbinger is quite happy here.
Mhm.
I'll say that as you guys approach, Gray and Quilla, you both have an additional insight into this place by not only your like Gray, your connection to the tree, but your connection to the rot goes a little bit both ways. As you feel the rot's influence growing more powerful and potent, you can feel its intent as well. Like what Deepu says about the air itself having some intention of will or whatever, like, or whatever you reported back, that rings certainly true to what you're experiencing. And there is a concentration of this malevolent rot that you are drawn nearer and nearer to.
Before we get too close, I'm going to tell the crew, hey, listen, my bedroom is still protected for the next 24 hours. Stay in there. Hopefully nothing will kill you.
You have like a sanctuary set up there?
We set up Mordekainen's private sanctum over the night so that hopefully that Xerox wouldn't be spied upon.
We have a safe room.
So now we have a safe room.
Nice.
That's cool.
The crew, that is one last thing that happens before we get into the shit. The crew does sort of like gather as they're like looking more and more nervously over the rails of the ship and towards what you're approaching. They look at you all kind of nervously, just kind of like waiting for somebody to kind of like take the lead and kind of give direction to the ship. And you, some of you, might notice a bit of a hesitance here, a nervousness and anxiety about what awaits them.
Listen, everybody, your job is to stay alive and stay in here. If we die, I'll give Shippy a chain of command on who could fly him out of here.
Alice says, "Well, do you want us on the ballista or down below where it's safe?"
I mean, I'm not asking anybody to sacrifice themselves, so if you want to be up there, you can be, but that's on you. Then it's dangerous. The air could kill you.
And you will not be thought a coward.
Not at all.
Yeah. Not at all.
It'll be noted as we move into collective bargaining.
Is hazard pay.
With that, what I'd like to do is kind of just put on a performance, a final performance for the crew to kind of just calm some nerves, with kind of the intent to just, again, calm some nerves and get people a little more at ease. It's not a whole lot to worry about. We've got this under control. Gray's at the helm. He's doing a great job. We've got a good plan for dealing with the harbinger of the rot. Everybody's gonna come out of this just fine.
Yeah, give me a performance roll, please.
34.
34.
Gray's dancing a fucking jig.
Fly the ship, Gray! Fly the ship!
What's your bardic inspiration die?
D12.
You guys see that the crew, Ellis, Jimothy, and the other two, are all just like bolstered by this, and like there was some bit of like they all reacted their own way to Beat Boop's like thinly veiled criticism of
that was not my intent.
and but they feel they visibly feel like strengthened by this, and they each gain 12 temporary hit points.
Ooh, sexy.
On top of their 2d20 or 2d10s.
Their hero feats, yes.
Oh, nice.
That's pretty cool.
But those aren't temporary. Those are
Those are
Right.
yeah, so they're
Yeah,
stat
true.
hit points.
Yeah,
You see that they kind of like talk amongst themselves, and Ellis and Jimothy say that we'll stay up on the ballista, and if it gets too bad, we might run below. And the other two say that if you can have Shippy let us know if Ellis and Jimothy fall, then we can run up and replace them, but we might stay below until we're needed.
That sounds like a good plan. Be strategic about it.
They say that
Valor is noted.
we didn't sign on because we thought it would be safe or easy. We might have been a little excited by the moment, but we're proud to be here with you. And anything we can do to help, we will.
Did Tater come with us, or is he on the mountain?
He's on the mountain.
That's right. With the false Xerox.
Well, now the only alive Xerox that we have. So
Quilla, tells them that as is the start for many a brave adventurer, you are brave to be here with us. You're setting forth on your own. Soon you won't even need the big help gang to be your own. But we love having you here.
yeah, maybe one day. Even you too.
Gray points out and says, "Watch ellipses. Lock door."
Is he in the same
Alice says that
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think he's in his own. I don't know. Did we
Room?
move him to the safe room? Or
No,
we
we left him far away from you.
Yeah.
Well, now it doesn't matter because you're already rotted.
Right. Well, yeah. It's a little taint. Just a little bit.
you hear a low wailing from below.
This poor
The
creature.
ellipses seems to be growing more uncomfortable with the approach to the route. I'm assuming Ellipses got a hero's feast bite.
I don't think Gray would have shared with him.
Would the rest of you,
I would like to share with Lucy's.
would you
Beepwood would not have, but
Yeah, I mean, you're the one in control of the
Yeah.
spell,
Gray
so
would
Gray...
not. Gray
No,
would-
it's like...
And how many emails do we have to feed?
12 is what we have. We have, between all of us, 10, including our crew.
And
that's
Shippy?
two. And Shippy is one, so there's one extra.
I'll say that, like, Gray certainly doesn't invite Ellipses. Does anybody bring Ellipses to the hero's brunch?
I
Check
think
plus
Gray
one.
would like put his foot down, like
Say
no, like
Okay.
no share.
Okay, but let's put him in the safe room then, okay?
If safe,
I'll ask the crew if they're okay with him being in the safe room with them.
They say... Jim says, sure,
I think
take
he's.
Ellipses. It feels like, at the very least, if something goes wrong with Ellipses, we'd be able to warn you.
Yeah,
And it
I mean,
might
I think that's
contain
probably the
it.
better idea to have him in there. I would be more worried about the rot making him worse outside of the safe space than in there with you. But if anything changes, you can let us know.
Gray hands him each a dagger.
Yeah, they, sheathe their daggers. They two of them take Ellipses back down below. Get them, and the three of them are in the safe room below decks. Two of them are mingling above deck and waiting to, near each of the ballista, waiting to hop on when the need arises.
Gray's up at the helm and cast guidance on himself as 5 dragonflies kind of fly directly in front of him, and he kind of follows them as if he was like a jet HUD display.
I'm gonna position myself by.
That's great flavor,
Gray.
but keep in mind when you are connected to the helm, you cannot cast spells. So you're basically concentrating on that.
For 1 minute.
But yeah, like totally, like it's flavor stuff.
Mhm.
Go for
Yep.
it. Yeah, some cool stuff. But mechanically, you won't be able to get too many advantages.
Unless it happens in a minute.
Yeah. Excellent. So, any last words?
Just with that performance, I want to make sure that Gray gets Bardic Inspiration since he's doing a lot of piloting and his skill and reaction is most needed at this hour.
D10?
D12.
D12.
And I'll be at his shoulder to cast guidance upon him, as well as be there to help if he needs more inspiration of flight.
Okay. Beautiful.
We'll be at the
So,
bow.
if you would position yourselves however you really are here on the vessel. The two marble glass things are the two hirelings aboard or at the ballista.
That's great.
And then we can just imagine the others are. Yeah, no, we do. I did put two down here, so we'll put two down there.
Who's that?
These things you can ignore; they don't exist.
I don't believe you.
Xerox, do you still want to be at the front of the ship?
Xerox will be in between the two ballistas, just in case something lands in the middle there.
We'll stay up at the front.
And Sarah, or I guess maybe she's.
Something
She's
more
on the back of the
appropriate
boat.
to size and disgustingness of ellipses.
Oh, I forgot he was big.
Ellipses a big boy.
Aw. Wait, did you paint that one?
Yeah, go for it. These are all like, I have nothing vulnerable at the site here right
You
now.
want to be a mind flayer? Be a mind flayer.
Not yet. Maybe a little later.
Mother! Where are you, Mother? Why can't I find you?
Let's see if your worm hatches.
With my painting. What's that? Is that a worm?
Oh,
Did you paint this one? Xerxes? I mean, let's
No, that one came.
Yes, it.
But cool.
Xerxes gonna play a role in this, don't worry.
Yeah.
if you say his name one more time, you get summoned.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, anything else? Any last elements? Spells, magic, prep.
Mm-mm.
Greg gives a long speech.
Okay. You continue descending, and Xerox, you feel these clouds just rolling now with and behind Shippy. No longer are you even just like seeing these things break and tunnel themselves open, like just what's the word I want to use? Almost like flee from your presence. These like necrotic clouds. You are seeing now like Shippy is riding at like the head of a storm as you like descend down. These things like you feel this connection to you. These clouds are like moving back away from your where you are traveling, and now like growing and crescendoing in power as these like waves of cloud and torrential necrotic energy are like overlapping and amplifying. And you see that Shippy is riding at the head of this. All of you see a presence that you witnessed briefly, some of you, last night. This shadowy figure standing next to Xerox. Growing in the light of day, and perhaps its connection or something to Xerox, you're not really sure if what fears might be in the back of your head about this figure. But you see it standing aboard the ship next to Xerox. And Xerox, you look and you see this shadowy figure, and you can see it growing more defined since your last encounter with it. You can see that there is a portion, a growing crater in the center of its head. What is revealing as this thing becomes more and more defined, revealing itself to be what looks to be an open wound that extends deep into their head. It draws its attention, or like it looks first back to the clouds behind you all, and then down at the tree and the rot below. And it says to you that your strength is a focus of my own power, should you choose to wield it.
It seems we are facing annihilation. Annihilation itself. So, I accept your offer.
You feel an expansion of your mind for a moment, and that like connection you had, and that insight into a single flash and bolt of this necrotic energy expands out until you can feel the entire force, the collecting, aggregating force of this entire storm front of this necrotic energy roiling behind Shippy. And you can feel as if like you are merely at this point, it feels so natural to you, just like the gates of a dam opening, and you feel all of that necrotic energy just like rush forward, and the rest of you see these like black roiling, like darkest storm clouds crackling with this green energy begin roiling around and past Shippy, as if a grand army marshaled and directed by Xerox. You can see Xerox just like extending a hand forward, and this great cloud of energy rushes before you. And it begins crackling, and you can see that the clouds begin to like almost fade as their energy becomes more and more concentrated in these crackling bolts of green energy, and you see them erupt forward and just like chain lightning scatter amongst the beginnings of this like vast aerial minefield, and you see innumerable thousands of these toxic gas-filled bodies and materials, these rot mines in the air just erupt from the lightning ripping through them, and you can see just like countless small explosions of fire as these, whatever these things are, is either the lightning or exposure to air or something, these are erupting in flame. And you see thousands of these eruptions as necrotic energy roils before you, beginning to make the way for you. And as you accept this strength, Xerox, you feel that strength rushing through you, and you take your first prestige level of your class that we will colloquially call Vampaladin. And for the rest of this fight, at the very least, the first prefiguration, the first visible manifestation of this power, allies within 30 feet of you have advantage against all necrotic damage.
Ooh.
Or resistance, I mean.
Resistance.
It's badass.
That's
Does Greg get a sense that this is like natural, seeing lightning come out and stuff?
Oh, it's not natural at all.
Okay.
And it's certainly like, you can tell that the clouds, you can feel like they are, like Shippy is running with the tailwind now, like flying with the tailwind, and it's just hurtling towards your target. And the way is just being demolished and erupted, at least a trail. And you can see, even as all countless of these aerial mines are erupting into this explosion, this fire, more are filling in that space.
Dre's muttering to himself, "That not nature."
I envision it being like a lot like the crest of a wave, like riding the crest of a wave, almost like surfing on it.
Yeah.
Just like, but like probably more downward than across. Like it's just this almost like confusing vertical version of riding a wave.
Mm-hmm.
Watching all the enemies get crushed before us, but like being right on the crest.
So there were 3 stages of your descent.
Mm-hmm.
You have removed the first obstacle thanks to Xerox.
Yay!
As you guys descend, I would first like one of you, or whoever you guys want to do this, roll me a D10, like a percentile roll, and tell me which is the 10 die and which is the hundreds die.
Who wants the honors?
Go, go, go.
I'll do one.
Yeah, do the other one.
I'll do the percentile. 80.
87.
So we got an 8 and a 7.
Yep.
87. It's a good number.
8.7. Nice.
As you guys approach below, you find that you are descending into
Chaos.
a field of clustered, like concentrated clusters, more dangerous than the rest of the field. You see that there are big, like I said, like concentrations of these aerial mines. In some cases, you can see that they are like organic, just blobs of rot flesh, fungal mess. In some cases, they are more distinguishable. Like you can see, like one of these balls, these floating like balls of gas, fly past Shippy and then just like get erupted by some like crackling green energy. You can see that it's like this, like it's like a bloated like goblin where like just it's barely like its hands and forearms are sticking out of its bloated flesh, as it's like mostly been like internally consumed and made into this like whatever gas the rot has produced within it. And that is certainly a volatile mixture. As they are cut by the lightning, it erupts into flame. But others are just like this just generic, just amalgamized flesh and organic material. But at the center of each of these large clusters, these are more dangerous areas, and in the center of these, you can see larger structural elements that you can't quite make out at this point. There is danger in them, are dots. And so you guys begin that in that spot, and you have a little bit of a descent to go, and with more of these things clustering beneath you, and they are all moving not just with the wind and the atmosphere, but of their own volition as well, it seems. So more danger will appear below you, but in this moment, what manifests at this stage is one of those structural things inside these clusters. Because it seems you were so close to this big blob, this concentration, what looks to be, as it comes out of this floating like cloud, looks to be a great tree, a great enormous oak tree or something, with its like roots gathered together into a point, and you can see even more of these like pustules growing beneath that like protected point of this tree, the roots that are all accumulated at the bottom. Meanwhile, the branches of the tree, this like rotten and partially petrified thing, carry these enormous, more of these blobs, these like converted things. You can see that this thing is like some of these like what look to be like giant, like if this were a big tree with the roots forming like a ramming point, the branches of the tree are carrying what look to be almost like enormous seeds, which are these bloated goblins and organic material, these gas bags. So it like moves through this cluster and begins to extend out of it as this thing just flies towards Shippy. And you immediately know this is something more animate and intentional and dangerous than just the background goblin mines and gas mines and stuff. So any questions about what we're seeing here? As I've described a lot of like weird shit.
Is it mostly wood, organic, or is it mainly
It's rot. It's a rot tree.
Okay,
The
gotcha.
tree
Yep.
is consumed, or the rot has consumed a tree and made it an airship.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
And they can see Shippy?
It
Or-
is at least seems to be drawn towards Shippy. You don't know quite what intelligence or intention this thing has, but if the air has intent in this place, this thing certainly has some as well.
It's like if
And
nothing
it's-
else can feel us moving through the air or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Or maybe see us floating. Maybe they can't see Shippy.
Okay.
Is it within 5 feet if we want to attack melee style?
So, I thought since we're at 6:30 at this point, we'd take a break before we get into the actual initiatives and rollings of your descent. But just so you guys can be thinking and like conceptualizing what we're up to, we have you guys on Shippy. This is mostly going to be Shippy trying to descend. Potentially, there is no end to the enemies you face here. Realistically, you would have to kill thousands upon thousands of things here and you don't know how fast the ocean of rot is creating more. So this is not a battle that's won by attrition.
Bless you.
That's very, very evident. What seems important is getting through this and getting you to your destination among the roots. A drawn-out battle in the air around this place is one you will lose eventually.
How much XP do we get per tree that we kill? 'Cause
That's a very important
you
question.
just farm this. And
Yeah, the rot of these trees actually ends up giving you negative XP.
Oh, shit.
So
Wow.
That's intense.
It's like we're not supposed to fight it.
these are like there is. You can see even as you're like taking this in as your descent, like you've seen more of these things like just like burbling up from this. It sometimes looks like the ocean is boiling, and that isn't fun. And sometimes the bubbles that kind of boil up contain things that then like ascend into the air. So unless you can deal with the entire ocean, you're not going to win the fight in the air. But yeah, you've already eliminated the first challenge like area, kind of like doing this kind of like think of it in like sections of your descent, whichever way you can like navigate through and around and avoid the most dangerous elements.
So we the first slalom.
Yeah, exactly. And with that, Xerox, you see that the force of this necrotic cloud has begun to dissipate, and as it's like still like crackling, and it's like you continue forward, like it's no longer extending out ahead of Shippy, and you see that you are now like more or less on your own as far as penetrating the heart of darkness here.
Do I have a sense of this protective aura that I give off?
Absolutely, you do. Yeah.
So I'm going to run up and grab Quilla, and is everyone within 30 feet of me-ish?
Shippy, this is about to scale to the 5-inch grid, so yeah, I would say probably you could, if you were, so long as you stay in the main deck, I would say that you can get everybody on the ship. But if you go to the quarter deck or the forecastle, you'll
under my protection.
yeah. Just for like ease of like contemplating it, typically just imagine like if you're on the quarter deck, it'll affect quarter deck and main deck. If you're on the main deck, it'll affect all portions of the ship, and if you're on the forecastle, it'll affect the forecastle and the main deck.
Okay, then I'll stay where I am for now.
Cool.
Is the shadowy figure still around?
It as you fly past the like preceding elements of the storm, as it begins to lose its strength and its energy, you see that like that shadowy figure just kind of like fade back, as if it cannot proceed any further with you.
Okay, cool.
All right. Well, now that we got to the excitement, how do we feel about a 10-minute break?
Yeah.
Classes available to them.
They could, but they could for their
Chop was
time.
a lot of fun.
Oh no!
so mobile, could just like run in, punch like 5 people and try and
Yeah.
stun them all, which often didn't work. But
The
you know, you
sun
can.
thing is cool though.
Tried.
It does
Yeah.
work.
It's
I mean-
yeah.
Ow.
That was a
Synced
good
up
one.
the sounds.
Oh, it's so good when it works that it's like you want to use it, but then you know you've only got so many key points.
You really.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you want
that's
a
true.
theory.
My
blows.
problem with
Yeah.
Monk is it's the
Yeah, you can't really level
key
one very
point.
well.
Yeah, you gotta tinker with how many key points they get
It's
early
like
in
being
the
bad to multi-class because
Yeah.
they're so key.
I liked the for chop. I liked the. I think I only went with a 2-level dip in fighter for
Yeah.
action surge primarily, and I think I went champion so I could get expanded crit range because I had so many attacks. I just like crit range, even though
Right.
it's not the best thing
No, it's
mechanically.
But
But it's so fun to crit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like being able to do like 4 attacks just with like your attack and then action surge, and then having 2 more with your flurry of blows. It's pretty cool. A lot of fun.
So many hits.
I
Yeah.
think if you take the brawler feat, don't you get like more strength bonus or something? I thought there was some feat that lends you a little more damage.
I think monks like event. I don't know what Brawler does, but anyway.
You can do the. You can kind of do a pugilist build with a fighter. If you wanted to do the unarmed fighting style, that would automatically happen.
Yeah, I think monks unarmed fighting ends up like outpacing brawler, like the brawler feat. Like the brawler feat's like a good way to do unarmed damage if you're not a monk,
Gotcha.
but the monk ends up with the like any unarmed strike ends up doing like up to like ends up being like a 1d10 or something.
Yeah.
Fists
As
of
opposed to like
fury.
1d4 for everybody else.
It's well, I mean, like a unarmed attack from somebody not without the feat is just 1
Yeah,
plus your strength
or like one,
plus your strength
right.
modifier.
Oh yeah. Just wow.
So then the like I think that's how it works. Then brawler of the feet I think gives you like a 1d6 or something instead.
My buddy from high school came up with a Muay Thai monk subclass variant that he published to DM's Guild, which I just shared with the
Oh, nice.
group. Yeah, take a look at it. Rip some stuff off if you like it.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What did I?
I don't know if you remember, it was Adrian. It was the goth dude that I used to hang out with at Grant all the time.
I don't know, man. There was a cool dancer class that I picked up from somewhere at some point in my life that I liked a lot.
For Bard?
No, for like, it was his own class.
Oh, excellent!
Yay!
Welcome.
So you're the last one alive.
All right, perfect.
Almost a TPK.
So the plan has gone perfectly.
Yep.
Just swimmingly.
Wait, there was a plan?
You're in stasis. You'll wake up in 300 years.
And the rot will have consumed everything.
Welcome, Sarah. We were just coming back from break here.
Okay.
Uh,
I'm not gonna have my camera because I have to find it because I moved everything around. So
fair.
sorry about that.
You good to go or?
Disney.
Yeah, what's going on? Fill me in.
Oh, so much. We're really into the first like effectively like turn-based or like really mechanical moment as we hit the
In a monk.
the minefield, the aerial minefield above the rot ocean and the rot stump.
Okay.
So a few things have happened that were pretty big. One that was so far largely private to Quilla.
Oh.
Also, which I will not spill those beans entirely, but Quilla. Everybody else heard what happened. This was not a secret whisper. So like Quilla felt a through their magical connection, their like warlike powers connection to the tides and the moon, felt a strange connection to Ratha, and accepted a strengthening force from that connection that is helping her resist the rot.
Oh yeah, she's been infected, huh?
She's
Yeah.
infected, yes.
And we're flying into rot infested
Air.
air.
Chippy's invisible.
Okay, so we're still on the ship.
We're descending on the ship currently.
Chippy's invisible, but we are not.
Yeah.
You're very much like Wonder Womaning with your like invisible ship.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shippy seems to have taken the
That's not how I thought that would
instructions
work.
fairly literally.
Ellipses is in the safe room with 2 of the
Wait,
crew.
does that mean our whole crew is visible?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ellipses is visible.
But you guys are
Ellis is
the
visible.
scale of what's happening though. You guys are still very difficult to see.
Because we're tiny in a massive storm of rot.
Yes.
But we-
That brings us to another significant thing that's happened. Xerox took a little bit of assistance from the Darkstar
All
Prince.
that- Yeah.
And Shippy began, or rather, the necrotic storm clouds began gathering behind Shippy. And then, as you approached the minefield, erupted forward with a bunch of necrotic lightning that ripped into the aerial rot mines.
Wait, say that. So what happened?
So much. So if you imagine
Say
you
that
guys,
again.
imagine you guys are aboard shipping, you're descending from above, and
Fine.
yeah, you're approaching this big aerial minefield. There was also, if you recall, a strange necrotic storm.
Yeah.
Yes, and because Xerox allowed the Darkstar Prince to sort of channel some of their power through Xerox.
Oh, because they're.
Yes, exactly.
I get it. Okay.
Those clouds began gathering behind and alongside Shippy, and as you guys approached the minefield, obliterated the first layer of mines you guys had to navigate.
Okay, cool.
Mechanically, if you guys want to give the camera a little tour of the board. I don't know how long that cable.
With
is.
Josh sent some pictures.
Yeah, there's
Other
pictures in
pictures on
in
Discord,
Discord.
Discord.
Yeah.
So there were going to be several layers of basically mines, which are basically everywhere, and then more dangerous clusters are found.
Okay.
And as you guys descend, you'll have to navigate just the storm of just the not the storm, that's a bad word. This is an actual necrotic storm, but the kind of wild just so many, just the countless multitudes of these mines, aerial mines, these gas balls that have kind of erupted up from the boiling rot ocean below you. These things are all over the place, and Shippy can't avoid them all. That's just not really. It's like running through the rain to avoid drops. What Shippy's really trying to avoid are these bigger clusters that are hiding dangerous, basically rot airships that are basically converted trees. One of these has come out of one of these clusters of dangerous rot and is now pursuing you.
Okay.
This is because with the approach, you guys kind of randomly determined where you guys would be descending down into this madness.
Okay.
You'll have more of these potentially to descend through. But the journey down, the dangerous part of the journey down has been really mitigated by that necrotic storm that erupted forth. But now it's kind of spent its energy, and you guys are more or less on your own.
You also have Hero's Feast, which makes you immune to poison. You have advantage on. What's that?
I said I remember getting that, yeah.
And you have advantage to Wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
And we're also resistance to necrotic as long as you're close to Xerox.
Something about fear too?
Yeah, immune to fear.
Cannot be threatened.
Yay.
And the poison immunity works against the rot.
Yeah, that's a huge point. You guys have successfully mitigated
Oh.
two really substantial like regional effects that are going on here. One that is effectively the toxic air all above the Rot Ocean. Your Hero's Feast is rendering you immune to that, largely. Some of you have a particular vulnerability to that, which is being bolstered in other ways as well. So you guys, the entire crew, aside from Ellipses, are all immune to this poisonous air above the Rot Ocean, the Rot Swamp. And secondly, these clouds, the necrotic like storm that you guys have descended through, first parted ways for Xerox, and then began to, aid you in that way, burning through so much of the rot mines. The necrotic, there are battling regional effects here. The Rot Swamp is trying to poison and consume everything. Meanwhile, the necrotic storm is trying to kill the rot's ability to, because the rot's always consuming and growing new things. This necrotic energy is trying to kill the ability for new things to grow.
Oh, good. Okay.
Xerox's presence is also mitigating that effect. You guys can still feel. Congratulations.
Woo!
So some really big effects are being mitigated by some of the steps you guys have taken and some of the leaps Xerox has taken.
Reach out and touch faith. Sometimes you gotta put the team on your back.
Sometimes these things just
I could
happen.
have doomed us all or whatever. I just flipped a coin.
Keep going.
So I think we're all caught up there, a lot going on.
Oh, just one small note. I talked with Vitaria about taking her out of my protection book for now. And I put myself in it because she's stable back on the mountain. And I added myself to it just because our party is more at risk.
How can you use it on yourself?
It seems to work that way. It doesn't say you can't. So,
The protection one, not the talking one.
Yeah, the protection one, not the talking one.
Oh, okay.
The one of us can drop
What's the
to.
protection on?
It's the if one of us drops or is killed or knocked unconscious, we go to 1 hit point instead of.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
I get it now.
Yeah, so we got that, or I gave myself that.
You deserve it.
At the helm with Beep Boop and and now I have great use for it.
I think the only other thing is that the structure, that octopus-looking structure on the glass in the Discord picture, it looks like it's like a tree that's been rotted and converted into some like small rock vessel.
And it's
Yeah, one of those tree shit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
one of those.
That they will continuously respawn and there's no way to stop them. So we should aim for our destination, which is the
Supposed to be.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's only, I don't know if we'll be able to tell it, but otherwise we definitely not that we'll
Is the grid here, what is the distance scaling for 1 square?
This here, it's like, this thing's not quite to scale, so imagine this can actually fit in 2 tiles, and we can put it at 50 feet per tile.
Okay. And these clusters, are they, they're just like clusters of the mine-looking things that...
Yeah.
And we observed the necrotic clouds when they came in contact, or when the lightning came in contact with those mines, they just exploded. They erupted.
Yeah, so like imagine the whole tile, like the whole grid is filled with more dots, meaning like more like individual explosive mines or tox bags. These ones are just much more concentrated, and each of them seems to be like nursing, collecting, or perhaps the source of many more of these things. And you saw this like tree thing come out of one. And as this leaves, like this one begins to like dissipate. So like it seems like these are like holding like larger objects, potentially more dangerous hazards. So you guys are like basically always going through a persistent cloud of rot bombs at this point. But these are the, like you said, more concentrated pockets of them that are contain more dangerous threats that you probably want to avoid, it seems.
They contain multitudes.
Exactly. So, and even as Shippy is invisible, like Shippy now begins to descend through a cloud of rotten bags of flammable like gas and whatever the rot has conspired to fill these with. So, as you descend into this space, Gray. Make your first piloting check, and as this utilizes your like spell manipulating ability, this will be just a spell check or a spell. What's the word?
Attack roll.
Spell ability.
Spell ability check. So you don't get to add.
Just my modifier.
I'll say. What should I say here? Make it a spell attack roll, we'll say. We'll let you add your proficiency.
3 minus 2 is 1, plus 9 is 10.
10.
With guidance?
Yeah.
I did say I casted guidance on him.
And you got that bardic inspiration too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 10's pretty low.
10 is quite low.
20.
Brings it to a 20.
Nice.
Okay. And you got the guidance as well?
I'm going to save that.
Sure.
No? Or is there one? Oh, that's
So
Guidance last one.
each round, you're basically I have we've had several of these. You have fewer of them to navigate through. You're going to each time we get a new one of these, you're going to be like descending into this area and dealing with those threats. So right now you are descending into this area and seeing this thing protrude from here, but you're not like at level with it quite yet. And with that roll, you can move yourself up to 4 squares here as you descend into this area.
Which is the direction of the tree?
Right now, like think of this as like a cross section of your path,
Gotcha.
whichever
Okay.
way it takes as you like wind and wend your way towards the tree, avoiding the most dangerous outcroppings. Because like there are also like big, just like conglomerations and clouds of this stuff that are just even more dangerous than what you're seeing here. That you're just like obviously avoiding.
I mean, straight ahead looks pretty good to me, but if you feel like we should move in one direction or the
Maybe
other.
like
3.
And like also, so you have five squares of movement. Turning required consumable.
It's
moves.
actually
Gotcha.
just in our little-
So yeah, so you started. Started like this. So it would be like 1 to move forward. It'd be like another 1 to turn in one of these, the 8 around you. It'd be another 1 to turn like this. So you could like move forward 5 or do some like combination of moving.
Shippy
and
can't go
turning.
sideways.
Yeah, can't drift.
No Tokyo drift. What? Hello, Moto. 2.
What do you want to do, Gray?
I think 3 and then aim this direction over here.
3
Yeah.
that way.
Is that-
That's
or
4.
Maybe move up 4.
And then one more up, or one straight
Or
down.
pivot?
That way?
Or
Yeah,
pivot.
maybe pivot here, or do
Alright, we only have 4.
I think that's
So we
fine.
can either
Let's
do
stay there.
this or we
Yeah.
can be back here and pivot.
That looks safe. I think let's
Over
get
there?
further away from that tree.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like think long term, like this is going to be replaced soon with a different one where you're going to be now then descending into that. So you're not going to be stuck in this spot evading this thing forever.
Cool.
And with that also just give me an initiative. I should have had initiative between you and the creature already set, but we'll do that now.
16 minus 2 is 14 plus 5 is 19.
19, nice.
I have to remember -2 for everything.
Do you want everybody rolling
So
initiative?
no, just
Negative-
pilot.
supposed to be -1? Is this the next day?
We didn't wait the next day.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I thought for a moment I thought you were just doing your actual like, attribute modifier as a negative, but no, yeah, you're still fatigued with the -2.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
That's all right.
Some other bonuses to sort of.
I thought it was that -1 too.
I thought it was a
Yeah.
new one also because I
I-
think this was our second day.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
I was-
got
it was
a
at-
full day's rest.
Yeah.
Was it at 3 or 4?
I thought it was.
'Cause
I
you-
thought it was 3, and then we took 1, so it's down to 2.
But you also had a boon. You got a full additional rest from the Angel of Thander.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So maybe it is 1.
Yeah,
then.
so you're at a -1.
Okay. Nice. Okay. I'll take it.
Wild D&D game. Like, yeah, the Angel of Thunder gave you an additional rest before you went into the Cosmic Rots aerial
remember.
minefield. Duh. Now that we're all caught up. So yeah, you begin at the top of initiative as well. So that was like your descent, as you had the kind of advantage, as you know the necrotic electric energy ripped through, and you dove into this area, saw this, you were descending too quickly on this concentration, moved out of the way, and you have another move. So make another piloting check. And you guys also went on the. You guys are basically all going to go on the ship's turn during this situation. So if there's anything you guys want to do as far as using the ballista, commanding your crew to shoot, or casting spells or interacting with these things. So, like if you had a spell that could reach into one of these, you could potentially like interact with this in some way before the shippy before shippy reached it or something. So you can do things, but just think of your initiative as happening alongside.
And
the
each
ship.
square is 50 feet.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, goodness, guidance. That's 15 plus 9 is 24.
4. Nice. So I'll get you another 4 movement this round.
Yeah, I think aim a little bit to the left. What's the? And
I
then,
go this way to
like, outside the corner.
3, 4 that way.
Yeah,
Run away!
Excellent.
I want to get away from this area.
Yep.
Yeah. As Shippy is still invisible, these things, these big concentrations, have a much reduced ability to detect Shippy's transit. You see, there's like bits of like movement and things as you guys like sail past, and kind of like you can see the telltale signs of your movement as like these, that you push the air in this space as Shippy flies through, and all these like mines, some of them like drawn into your wake, and you can see that that kind of like ripple throughout the air, and there is some amount of intuition that the rot is gaining from even just your passage through this space. Some ability for it to understand where you are, where you have been, and as you like pull through here, though, still invisible, still largely very stealthily, you do not see any new enemies or any things erupt from these clouds. You are getting close now. As you've already bypassed the first wave around of this, you are drawn very near to the great stump itself. You know your destination is amongst its roots. How do you want to draw close to it now, or will you wait till you descend further? You can see that the remnants of the tree, so much of it has been lost to the rot that still just this towering stump remains. And it is like broken and jagged at the top. And you can see that its interior is still solid deep inside. There's like morass of rot that must still be trying to consume some heartwood, something remnant that is still defending the seed. There's still like mass here. You can't just fly in from a hollow top. You know that you would have to go through the barrier that the seed is erected to protect itself, as well as the rot itself. So any other questions you have, feel free to ask. But yeah, do you want to draw close now, or do you want to? Because like you're either gonna have to fly directly towards closer to the tree to get to the roots, or you'll have to fly down to the water and then like along the water's surface to
I
get
think
to the
staying
roots.
away from the water is probably a better idea. Staying high.
I think we go in from above as
Yeah.
close as we can.
Yeah, get as close as possible so we can investigate it without losing too much elevation.
Yeah.
Definitely keeping a distance from the water.
Mm.
Rotter.
Rotter.
Big water.
In that case, as you guys approach, you descend now. As this one slides in, you descend towards the tree, and you see below you as you approach. You're still kind of like right here. Sorry. And this is down. And this is where you are now. So you're probably gonna have a round to kind of like move before you get into this space, and then you'll have another round in this space that you'll have to deal with.
Gotcha.
Oh shit.
So you see, with that roll, you've moved far and fast away from the rot ship, which it does not make. You can see that this like tree that's like flying through this, the cloud of rot balloons and such. It is like erupting or like emitting gas from the great like branches and all these like rot bags in the trees, the petrified trees, to like propel itself forward. And you can see that it is like burning through much of what amounts to this propellant to make like one desperate like surge in your direction as you guys outpace it. It fails to reach you, though you can see the like roots that are all like kind of gathered into a point are like reaching out towards Shippy, but Shippy sails past, outdistancing it. So that one, if I could take that thing to reuse it. So you guys sail past. However, there is still the just ambient volume of these rot bags that are just like the Chippy just can't help but like fly amongst and through, and some of these are detonating. You hear these like smaller explosions on the on the hull of Chippy. Some of these are coming close and down and like around the deck.
Can I try to mitigate a few of those with just Eldritch Blast while I don't have anything
100%.
better to do?
Yes.
Okay.
So right now you have you guys each have a like effectively a die roll, a chance to be come into proximity with one of these creatures, one of these things, and then it will detonate itself. So these are a hazard to everybody on the ship, everybody on the deck of the ship at the very least. Things that you do to counter their approach will lower the threshold that they will, under which they'll hit you.
Will it also make it easier for us to be spotted?
These ones, this close, like if these blow up on you, the rot's gonna know where you were just as easily as
If they ever blow
like,
up.
Whether the
there
detonate
is
on
there
us
is
or-
that consideration to make for sure. Like it will potentially draw more attention, but like if you guys roll badly and a bunch of these actually do hit, that will draw attention too.
Okay.
I'll try to shoot some if I think they're gonna hit us, but I'll also try to shoot one or two far away to try to like be distracting.
Ooh.
I see what Quilla's
Make it
doing.
look
I'll
like
say
we're
commit to
dead.
one of those two.
Okay, I will shoot try to shoot like a cluster far away
Okay.
to like
Yeah.
make it look like we're somewhere else.
You guys see what you're approaching.
Oh shit! Right.
A massive
Turn back.
cluster.
And I'm gonna I'll shoot to ones over to the west. I'm saying that's west. And then assuming Gray's gonna turn north.
He'll go the opposite direction when he sees
Okay.
things blowing up.
Oh, wait.
Just to clarify,
Wait, so
there
we're
are
we're driving into this cluster?
We're getting close to it.
as you've descended down, you can only see so far through this mass of things as well. So as things resolve and become discernible, you're noticing now as you descend that you are in fact descending towards that cluster of 4 tiles. But you will have a chance to navigate before you even reach that level. So there's still a chance you'll still have a whole round of navigation before you hit that level. So so for
If I Mark,
Yeah.
I want to apologize if I
I'm gonna
ask
go
for
this
repeated
way.
things. I'm really tired, so that's
No, you're good.
That's why. So,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
just
go for
just
that one.
just to warn you.
Someone can go.
Like,
Some space.
No, you're
Because someone
good.
can ride.
And also, like, we have the digital disconnection as well, so don't feel bad about just like speaking up and interrupting if you don't think, like, if you need to know something to move forward or whatever. Um, But also just for everybody real quick, the also the choice here for Quilla, if you like, you had the choice between like reducing the danger towards people on the deck of the ship versus creating a distraction. And then if you choose to create a distraction, you have a decision point as well between either just like creating like, oh, just like shooting a few of these bags out in the middle of nowhere to make it, make it like more things perhaps like cluster in that direction, or trying to interact with these big clusters here. Because like you can kind of like create like a different like set of like footprints for shipping, or you can like deal with one of the big hazards here and try and like blow it up or something. All this shit is really volatile. You're not sure, like the bigger the cluster, like the more energy it's going to take, the more commitment it's going to take to deal with it significantly.
Go for it, yeah.
Okay.
And we'll see what
So-
happens.
So I'm gonna shoot like this side of the cluster, with the intent of hitting the cluster, but also being distracting.
Yeah.
Seeing what Quilla's doing, I'm gonna go for the cluster right here, which is kind of the one that's closest to the ship for folks that are virtual. And having seen kind of how that lightning, necrotic lightning worked, I'm going to be using it's been a while, lightning bolt, just on that cluster to see. How do you get it, Miyagi? I'm going to use lightning bolt here to try to
Hell yeah.
Nice.
set it off and see what
Good idea.
happens.
Awesome. Okay. Let's have both of you. Anybody else making an action from the ship to do things here?
I'm gonna use my mage
1500,
hand
okay.
to push anything that's coming close to us away.
Okay. Mage hand is like pretty limited
I have a
abilities,
pretty
so I'll
cool
say that
telekinetic push mage hand because of my telekinetic feet. I can push
Alright.
things 10 feet.
That's awesome. I'll say that you have to pick somebody to help.
Okay.
It's not just like it can't be everywhere at once. It was like pick somebody to give a benefit to.
Okay. There.
Since
Quilla
Jessica
and
can't
Johan,
do it.
are you guys both hitting the same
Cluster.
cluster?
Same cluster,
We're hitting
different
the one.
sides of the same cluster.
Okay. I'll cast a fireball, meeting them.
Nice.
Hell
Cool.
yeah.
All three clouds
Nice.
rewalking.
Hell yeah. So yeah, you guys are hitting this big cluster
Yeah.
here from like both sides and like a fireball right in the
Yeah.
middle. Awesome. Hell yeah. Okay. Very
Just to
cool.
the swarm.
Yeah, you guys go. It's your turn. You guys see just like one after another, who would even like see all of this happening at the same time? Xerox probably like at the middle of the ship. You see like all of your companions get into position in various parts of the ship, and you can see them like channel and prepare their magic, and then just all unleash. And you can see just like bolts of energy and arcane magic and light just erupt forth from your companions, striking or streaking out into the darkness
types of
created
power.
by just the immense now cloud of rot bombs you are in and amongst. These things sail out. I would like you guys to roll. You will need to roll your attacks to see if you're successful.
Okay.
AC from these guys is not super high when
Okay.
they're clustered like this. And the rest of you, that's a save for them. They're automatically failing. It's a cloud of wanting to blow up bombs. They automatically fail their saves. So just roll your damage for the lightning and the fire.
So
I have
20,
to roll on D&D Beyond, so I apologize because it'll probably be terrible.
25, 20, and 19 for my attacks.
Those all strike.
Okay.
Alright, 32 damage.
Eight plus 16 plus 7. Okay,
35.
So we got a 32, a 35,
Like 23 damage.
23.
With with lightning bolt, just a reminder, ignites flammable objects in the area. So
Yeah. Oh, and the last thing that
yeah.
I'll say, Xerox, the lingering effect that you still have in this space is that you can cast a Call Lightning from the Necrotic Cloud as an action each turn.
Woo!
Each turn?
Each turn.
Badass.
Jeez.
This is not a permanent ability. This is while you're riding the rush of the Necrotic Storm.
Forever.
Well, I would use that ability to clear any space that we need. I can't really point it out on the map.
Yeah, you see your companion's abilities just tear into this cloud, and you see just like this eruption of just like explosions, this chain reaction of explosions amongst this cloud. You can see that there is limping from it a tree ship. You see one has already like broken in half and is like plummeting from the sky. The other one that this cloud was containing is limping as its entire like cloud of protection in its shell has burned away as like the eruption from the Eldritch Blast like chain like hitting it in like several different like pockets, and then like the fireball erupting right in the center, just like creating this chain reaction of explosions. And the far side, was it chain lightning or call
Lightning bolt.
lightning bolt, just like piercing through such a like long section of it, just like chain explosions throughout. The ship though is clinging to its whatever like fungal rock growth is like holding its structure together. It is about to join its sister ship in falling from the sky. It awaits only a strength that you feel you have. And if you just want to reach out and call that necrotic lightning once again.
I would step up to the railing and feeling the rush of this power with cracking brain. Let's say,
Nice.
You can hear almost the thunder from this lightning almost repeats the words you speak, and you hear this like thunderous Nathrak erupt from the clouds, and the thunder like this trailing this electric, this green necrotic lightning that erupts forward. You guys left this ship with 12 hit points, and the lightning comes down and crashes through just the center of this like rock tree. This rock airship thing breaks it in half, and it crumbles, burning down towards the ground, towards the ocean below. This one is entirely, not only this ship, but this entire cluster is
Nice.
eliminated. They have nothing near you. You guys are still invisible, while they you can see things moving in from every direction towards this great eruption of fire. You've left nothing in proximity. The only thing that you have to deal with is the potential hazard of the small bombs coming for individuals on the deck of Shippy. So each of you will need to. I don't need to roll this. You know, you guys need to roll this. Each of you give me a dex saving throw.
Me as well.
Yep. You. Anybody who is stationary does this with disadvantage. So at the helm and on the ballista. And I'll roll for your.
I'm helping Ella.
Dex saving throw,
Okay.
right?
Dex saving throw. The DC is just 12 here. Let me know if you fail.
Nope. I might fail.
I fail.
Oh, no, I was talking about the ones I rolled for your hirelings both succeed.
Okay. I got 4.
Nice. That one's for you.
Yeah. Fair. I mean, you might as well celebrate your victory.
I rolled a 9.
That's okay. So 2 of you fail. The hirelings will succeed. You can see that they Ellis like one of these floating pustules of a goblin that's like floating towards Ellis. Like they quickly like swivel the ballista around and shoot it out of the air. It like splatters out before it gets too close to them. But those who failed will take this round 11 points of damage. This is rot poison, which you currently are, let's say, resistant to as well. Wait, no, you're just immune to the poison effect, not resistant to poison damage. So we'll take the full 9.
I'm
Can't
resistant
be
to poison damage.
Too gentle. Because of your
Me being.
being a
Wait, 11
robot
points?
man.
You said? Or 9?
9, I think I said.
Let's see. Hold on. Let me double check that. I think that is why I'm immune, but I can't remember.
All right.
I'm resistant because of my construct resilience.
No.
So half of 4.
The next barbarian.
So, Gray, where are we heading next? This the way has been cleared for
Yeah,
you.
I think we're going to keep pushing through. Let's see.
Go around.
So this is still your approach into this block. So next round you'll be like down in the block itself. Does that make sense?
Down in the block.
Yeah.
like-
So think like if I can do
Down
like
in
an
here.
elevation.
Gotcha.
We're
So like
up.
we started basically at height, then we dropped down to level, and then you went to height, and then you're gonna drop down to level.
I just
so
want to stay away from the waves still.
So
but
like
yeah.
right here. So this is all like blown up. There's still like this is probably the safest place in the whole cloud right now is in the aftermath, the pocket of
Gotcha.
burned out space.
Gotcha. Okay.
So if you wanted to sail down into that, they'd probably there's stuff like flying into that
Yeah,
space,
yeah,
but
yeah.
like it's still the most
Seems like a
vacant
good route. Am I
area.
rolling for it or?
Yeah, so as you're flying, like effectively through this like challenging area, you're going to be doing your piloting check, and every 5 is going to give you a tile of movement.
Gotcha.
And with that, just kind of riding that high of blowing the shit out of that cloud. Again, just passing some bardic inspiration
Right
off to
on.
Gray.
Skull, is that a nat 20?
Looks like it to me.
Or is that a 1? Nope, nat 20. Yay, nat 20. So 5 movement.
Yeah, so
Oh, I guess it'd be 19
Yeah, you guys were
because I
here.
got a -1.
yeah, so 20, and you're only modified. This is your piloting
Oh,
check.
plus 9. So
Yeah, so it's really good. So 29,
Yeah.
so five movement, and that includes, remember, like a turn is a move. But yeah, so if you just want to move like down here and hang, you have more than enough movement to do
Yeah,
it
let's do that. Maybe even turn a little bit too to
that way.
the stump.
be a little closer to the
Right
tree.
Okay. Yeah, you could sail towards the tree, probably 2 more tiles, or you can hang out here, and I'll give you advantage on your piloting check next round if you stay there, or you can take the movement and get closer to the tree in your destination.
I think it's just move. I mean, there's nothing really out there that I see
Cool.
I'm afraid of. I'm gonna try to just get closer to that thing then.
Just because you don't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
That's true. I mean, to
Kind of like
Gray.
Santa Claus.
Gray
What?
does not believe Santa Claus.
Just because you can't see Santa doesn't mean he doesn't exist.
The only Santa I need is Jack Skellington.
That's fair.
Excellent. All right. You totally decimated their ability to respond on their turn this round by killing both of the ships hidden in that cloud. You have smooth sailing this round, and as you like fly like through the like just the smoky wreckage of all these like thousands and thousands of like rot bombs, you sail towards the tree. And as you sail towards the tree, you're now down like, from compared to where you have been, stone's throw from the surface of the world. You were just in space, like in orbit, and now you are down like within like 100 feet of the surface. You are like in the middle. You can see like the broken spire now of the great stump, kind of like growing in height as you descend. And as you get closer to the ground, you see amongst the roiling, boiling waves of the rot, up come enormous tendrils splashing among the ocean, like tendrils of some great leviathan. but these reveal themselves to be the long, rotten roots of the tree, consumed and used by the rot itself. And these begin to lift themselves up from the ocean and start ascending towards you.
Have you recognized any of this tree as being anything like left of organic, or is it all rot
The
that I can
heartwood
see?
was.
This,
Yeah.
like from this area, like this outside spot.
This place at the heart of the infection of the rot, you can see that the rot's focus is here.
Mhm.
Like this whole ocean is here to consume this
Gotcha.
tree as much as it is to consume the world. And yet something here remains resistant to that. There is still tree here. It's just coated in how thick a layer of the rot, how far has it penetrated into the tree. That's only going to end one way in the long term.
Gray's gonna try and approach the tree, try and stay at a tendril reach,
Mm-hmm.
and just try and get closer so we can at least kind of examine it.
Yeah, you've moved your distance, and that's effectively the turn of the rot this round, since you've so destroyed their defenses here at this level. And you see as you descend farther down, as you make your final approach, you're going to need to get into the roots somehow. Gray, as you wonder about how much organic non-rot is left here, how much of the tree still remains, there is a flash of your vision, and as Shippy's descending towards the stump, you see for a moment not a darkened, rotten, slime-covered tree, but for a moment you see the world tree as it was, towering beyond comprehension up into beyond the sky. And you can see the world around you primal. You can see there are fissures from the interior heat of the world cracking and still like showing, like flows of lava erupting. This is a vision, you know, intrinsically of what was a long, long time ago. You see, you look up, your eyes scanning up and up and up. The tree, its branches look to be mingling among stars. They're so far up. And you see that there are fruits growing on the tree. There's one ripened and rich with mottled color. And you can see that great fruit not quite fall from the tree, but as if it's being gently plucked, a ripened fruit just disconnects and it floats away. There remains another, underdeveloped. It's still pale, has some pockmarked sort of crust to it. Your vision returns to what is the great stump. You feel a connection to it. There is still a tree here. Nature hardened and twisted, not dead, but preserved to create a shell, a protective space for the seed to remain. And you know that that is your destination, that central heart of the tree, the place where it has pulled all of its energy, all of its strength to preserve the potential for another generation of this tree to be born. It is waiting for you among the roots. It is calling to you. And you feel this close to it, a deep connection to this thing that has been separated. This seed of life that has been separated from the life of the world for untold millennia, waiting to be reborn, kept safe from the rot. And it yearns to be born again. But you know that there is this ocean of rot here, and when this opens the way to you, when the seed opens the way to itself, it's only a matter of time before the rot gets in. That shortens the clock from years or decades to hours and days. But you know that if you search hard enough, that this will open the way to you.
Yeah, Gray will start to investigate the tree, trying to find an opening that we could skeet right into.
Alright. You see the way opening in your mind's eye. There is not a place you need to reach, but just the roots themselves, and the path will open itself.
We ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Quilla is looking for a harbinger.
Oh, yeah.
She's like just staying on the edge of the ship looking out, trying to see if she can see the harbinger somewhere.
Give me a perception check.
16 plus a lot. Some? Let's find out.
It will matter if it's a lot or some here.
That makes sense. It's only some. 18.
18. There are so many, like, especially in the places where, like, the troughs of the waves of the rot ocean, you can see so many places amongst the rot roots that anything could hide. And you can even see, though, while you do not spot the harbinger, you see that there are places where creatures are like crawling on the skin of the rot tree, and they are then drawn into it. You see things like pop out of it. The rot flesh what the rot has consumed of the bark and the outer layers of the tree, this is permeable to it. You can even see like places where like the root isn't like coming up and like going into itself, into this strange knot and twisting around. The harbinger could be amongst this anywhere.
Okay. I'll just shout to everybody to keep an eye out for the harbinger as we go in.
Mm-hmm.
She's got, she's ready to blast it if she sees it, if it seems like it's going to attack us. The harbinger.
Just keeping your eye out for the
Yeah,
harbinger.
just watching for it.
For sure.
Can Beep Boop sense the Harbinger? Or is it too much rot everywhere?
You're, if I remember, still focusing on your guidance mostly. So you're kind of at the center of the quarterdeck here.
Fair.
You don't have the best view.
No, sorry. I didn't mean Beep Boop. I meant Shippy.
Oh, Shippy. Can Shippy sense the harbinger?
Yeah.
No, Shippy, like Shippy as Shippy has said multiple times, their ability to experience or sense the outside world is fairly limited to that, like, range, and that's just, like, feeling things, kind of, like, Shippy doesn't have, like, binocular eyes that they can, like, look around with.
We need to grow some eyes on Shippy.
Just put some giant googly eyes.
Well, they have a rot sensor.
How much wellstone does that cost?
We're discussing this
Can
after like
survey the area for the harbinger?
Yeah, absolutely. If you're not otherwise preoccupied here this round, as Gray continues navigating Shippy, flying down lower and lower towards these now like writhing and lifting roots of rot. You can make a perception check, and then we'll get down to the next layer.
Leia.
22.
22.
Taylor Swift.
22. There's a moment where you think you see what looks an awful lot like an enormous, like the folded grooves of an enormous amount of gray matter just submerging into the rot. If you had to guess, you would guess that the harbinger has an exact, or like has a good idea of your approach, if not an exact location, and knows you're coming.
I'll point that out. I mean, we kind of figured it would know we was coming, but that location.
Yeah, just like down amongst the roots here ahead of you. And now you guys are still probably like 60 feet above the Rot Ocean level. And you know that, Gray, you kind of like get the sensation that you're going to have to time this to fly down with one of the troughs of the ocean to access the lower, like beneath the actual like meat trunk of the tree. It's going to be difficult, but not certainly not impossible. The challenge, of course, is going to be the rotten tentacles that are writhing around now. They still can't see you, but again, they have the memory or knowledge of the rot that's just been destroyed, so they know like roughly where that happened and what direction you're approaching from. So you see these things like kind of like moving towards the like 90 degrees of your approach and just like swinging around into the sky, making the approach more difficult, but you guys still remain unseen. So as you approach down to the next level, this will be the final layer, since your utter destruction of the uppermost layer, your final approach here. The challenge as you leave behind the last cluster of these rot bombs now is the tangles of root itself. But we'll have, I think it'll be you guys go, and then we'll have another round of just background atmosphere of rot bombs potentially colliding with you, and then you guys will be at the probably at the tree unless you were delayed by something. So, or you make a very bad approach here with your roll. So let's have another navigation check from Gray.
Alright.
You sense that there are no more clusters.
I have a bark and a
You got both.
stems. That's not great. It's 15 plus 9, 24.
Look at you 4, so you're
Minus
on
20,
that level.
23.
That'll put, with that approach, I'll say you'll have one more round to like, you'll be able to get in good position, and the next round you'll be able to like do what you want to do. So
Dive bomb the tree.
at that point you can decide if you want to fly Shippy into this mother and hope the tree and roots and stuff are accommodating to an enormous ship, or you can send Shippy away. What's your plan? As we'll be thinking about that as well as we approach this next round. You have four moves, but yeah, we can pretty much. I think with you blowing through this last zone, yeah, we'll have that for reference. But you guys are down amongst
that's a rough one.
the edge of the roots now.
Bill Ship?
So you guys have, this is another round, keep in mind also of just dealing with the chance of getting hit with by one of these. Or is there any defensive ability you guys are going to use
Who wants
to mitigate this?
to shoot Eldritch Blast at anything that looks like it's gonna hit us?
It'll be
all
individual,
of us.
so you
Okay.
can make your attacks to lower the difficulty or the danger for any person. Because you're kind of since your ability is like single target, even though it like targets 3, it's like you have to kind of like looking out like, all right, over here, I'm going to shoot these things as they come up.
Yeah.
Or
I guess like.
I'll say with
any
your
other
if you have multiple
roots
shots,
pop
I'll say
up.
you can give it to 2 people.
Oh, okay, so protecting people, not like just shipping in general.
Because this is now like just like
There's
just
so
the
many.
background like balloons that are just falling in, and like this is about you guys trying to avoid them. It's like
I
these
was
are not
thinking
enough
like
to.
the roots, if the roots swing at us.
Gotcha. This is not quite at the root level yet.
Okay.
This is the last round before you get into the roots.
Okay.
This is
Then-
just rot balloons that
yeah.
you're defending against.
Okay, then I'll just shoot at the first 3 I see, no matter who they're gonna hit in our party.
Gotcha. Okay.
Did Zira do like the Brandon Connecty thing before all this took place?
Yeah, definitely. I did.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, I do. Oh, you got advantage on your portents rolls for today.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah. So yeah, well, this morning, Evan brought over a little bit of Chinese food and had a fortune cookie, and we decided that would be significant, and it was a very positive fortune. So I decided that should give you advantage on your portent rolls for the day.
Nice. Alright, let's see. my pen. What did I get? Okay, so I've got nine.
And also everybody, unless you have some mitigating ability to use against these bombs, just go ahead and make your dex save again.
15.
So 24, 29.
Is there, can I take like a
Okay, those are all great.
dodge action against them or anything like that?
18.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to spend, if you're not committed to any other action, like Gray can't do that because he's committed to piloting. But if you're just running around on the deck and you don't want to do anything but avoid these, totally you can take advantage.
I got 14. Does that pass?
That passes, yeah. You see like one of them just explodes on the deck of Shippy, just like a few feet away from you as you dive out of the way. Certainly not enough damage. These little ones, not enough damage to do any real harm to Shippy. These are just against you guys.
Okay. So it was
I got an
9.
18.
That's passed.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you need to roll for these two. Man. They both, no, I rolled really poorly for damage and stuff for the round. They rolled again quite well. I haven't rolled below 14 for your hirelings on the deck yet.
9, 7, and 12 for my damage rolls.
So far, nobody's even failed yet.
Okay.
So they're all like, even
Everyone's
with like,
okay.
you're like, if you were like flying too close, you like shoot them out of the air.
Okay.
But nobody's failed their deck saving
And
throw.
then I failed my next deck saving throw.
So distracted with helping other people,
Yeah.
that one just goes,
Because yeah. 7.
yeah, this like big balloon, it's like 2-3 feet in diameter, just like hits you, and you can see what looks like skin just rupture, and there's like this like foul-smelling cloud of gas hits your face first. But as you can see, there's like this strange thing that it hits oxygen or air, it just erupts into flame and just blows out.
Ew.
It only does do 7 points of damage to you, and this is poison as well. This is like toxic cloud erupts.
What was the DC for this?
A mere 12 as you guys remain invisible and they don't have a clear sight of Shippy to home in on. Great.
Oh,
So,
did you do that invisibility thing so that we couldn't take invisibility with us when we leave Shippy?
I don't even understand the question.
We're not invisible, but Shippy is.
Yeah.
So if we left,
Oh,
we left
that's
Shippy, it was-
that's just how Shippy interpreted the request. Shippy may be able to modify the appearance or effects of this ability in the future, but nobody's made a comment to it of disapproval yet to Shippy. So Shippy's, I did it, great. But you do think that if Shippy did change that, you would probably lose invisibility as you left their proximity. Regardless. So we then descend towards the flailing rot roots and the heart of the tree itself. Unless anybody has anything that they would like to claim they're doing before the approach, as Gray slows Shippy and prepares the final dart towards or dash towards the roots. And you can see even now ahead of you, you can see like as the waves of the rot kind of like pass by, there's like a section of the rot that's like boiling away ahead of you.
I want to look for the hurt. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do it too.
I didn't see.
Okay.
If we be looking as well.
He doesn't know yet.
Oh,
Right.
26.
Nice.
How does Nat 20 work on skill check? Does it do anything at all?
I take it into consideration, but it's not necessarily like a.
It's not like
Yeah.
automatic
Yeah.
necessarily.
Mine was also a nat 20 if you want to take that.
Oh, double nat
Ooh,
20.
Holy moly!
We got some eyesight.
The gods want
What do those elf eyes see, gentlemen?
Well, Zach, how could we all learn up here on the bow?
There's still a bit of like toxic like residue from the thing that hit
Yeah.
you, just like still clearing your eyes. The two of you see as Shippy slows and prepares that dash. You can see the roots, like the rot burning away, and like true like wooden roots revealing themselves for a moment as Gray like seems to just like know and have this connection with the tree itself, and the tree begins to welcome Gray Gray's long awaited arrival. And you see burrowing up from the rot near that entrance that you were trying to, that is like manifesting itself amongst the roots. You see just this crawling like pair of legs breaks out onto the surface, and then another and another and another, till 4 pairs of legs, long toes and all, cling to the outer shell, rotten shell of the tree, and pulls this enormous brain thing out of the rot. And it's like half emerged, and it is awaiting your approach. And it is preparing something as it knows exactly where you need to fly by, and it's waiting. You see this before Gray commits to that last dash. And also, you guys need to decide what's the fate, because Gray needs to get inside and can't fly this thing and fly Shippy any further. Shippy has some limited ability to fly itself, but won't be able to intentionally avoid these clusters of enemies. Shippy is still invisible and has not taken significant damage up till this point, so just a wild rush up might be enough to save Shippy. There's still the lingering necrotic effects of the cloud behind you and above you at this point. So, yeah, what do you guys want to do as Gray nears their destination?
So we don't know if Shippy will fit.
You do not know if Shippy will fit, and certainly you know that the tree might be able to like temporarily protect Shippy, but Gray, I would say that you are pretty confident that Shippy cannot reasonably fit into the heart of the tree where the seed is. I'd say that you have that understanding.
Gray says, "I stab with Shippy," and he starts to like accelerate towards.
I'm gonna cast Glibness, just in preparation, and communicate the exact location that I spot the Harbinger at. Just let folks know as we approach the trunk, it looks like Harbinger is preparing something for us. We all need to be ready to deal with it.
Cool.
Xerox will prepare it. Should we get in range, Xerox will get ready to launch itself at the Harbinger.
I'm gonna run up with Xerox and be ready to fly.
So we're
Protect
gonna
the
abandon
mouth
Shippy.
of the entrance.
So we're gonna abandon Shippy.
Shippy goes
Put
up.
Ellis in charge.
Yeah.
She can't fly.
Oh, Shippy can fly itself.
Yeah. No.
Wait, she can't fly?
You have to be able to cast magic to be able to fly.
Last time she tried, she died.
Oh,
Right? Yeah.
bad news.
Oh.
Then
None of our crew can fly the ship.
One of our crew can fly the ship.
which one?
Oh, sad boy.
I don't think.
Wait, ellipses?
I don't think
Ellipses?
he has spells either. Maybe he does.
Well, we don't want ellipses out here in the rot.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah. Then
Gray's
let's-
like, no. No monster fly.
Ellis, when we leave, let Ellipses fly the ship.
Tell the folks on the ballistas to go to the cabin and shoot Shippy up in the air.
Oh, shoot.
I mean, let Shippy
Yeah.
fly himself back out of the range.
He does have speak with animals as part of his.
Let's harpoon the Harbinger and shoot Shippy up in the air.
Yes!
That's some Little Mermaid shit.
Yeah, I love it.
But we are going to have to abandon the ship.
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
So if the Harbinger makes a move towards the ship, i.e. towards Gray, that is what my attack is. That's the trigger for it. I'm not just going to attack just because I'm in range.
Your trigger is, I'm sorry, what? Is if it gets in range, or?
Is if the Harbinger makes a move towards Gray.
Gotcha. Okay.
Gray says, I charge. Then tell Shippy fly high.
Sounds good.
We'll protect you, Gray.
My trigger is if I see the Harbinger casting a spell, I'm going to counterspell.
100%. As you point out the location of the Harbinger, you see Ellis and Jimothy both like swivel their ballista and just start shooting. Start shooting the Harbinger. It's like you can see this like little bit of like pustule of brain, this little tick sticking out of the tree, and it's you see it like have to like scurry and like start like burrowing in to try and avoid this. But they're both going to take shots, but they are both going to miss. But it's put this thing on the defense. You see it like scurry back in a little bit, and it's like moving beneath the surface, just beneath the surface. You can see just like this like bloated little like spot. You can still see where it is because it wants to be close to the surface, but it's not. Yeah, it's like trying to evade these ballistas. They just like keep shooting at
Can
this
we
thing.
all see it?
Yeah,
Like,
after
pointing it after you
pointing
point it
out,
out?
yeah.
Okay. Can Quill still cast a spell? Or is that?
Mhm.
Okay. Quilla is gonna conjure up some blades of disaster to try to hit the Harbinger.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, I think so.
What does that do?
Well, the range is 120 feet.
Perfect.
It created a blade-shaped planar rift that's about 3 feet long,
Nice.
and it lasts for a long time, like up to a minute. Using the blades, I can make a melee spell attack with the blades. So I cast it here right by where the brain thing is.
Yeah.
And so I make 2 blade attacks, and they are 4d12 damage.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
well, it's a 9th level spell.
Oh, boy.
Lay the hurt on early.
I mean, it's might as well try to get it.
You might as well try to get it.
And I
Holy shit.
which is on the critical hit, the blade deals an extra 8d12 force damage. 12d12 force damage.
What? 12d12?
I didn't pick enough dice.
That's the first of 2 attacks?
Yeah.
Yeah, roll your second attack and just roll all the d12s.
Right. Oh, the second one probably misses. It's like a lot less. I don't even know. That's a lot
Yeah.
We just one shot
I
the
only
rock.
did
It's,
12d12 damage this time.
12 plus 4, so yeah, like 16 for the second one.
I will. That does miss, but
Okay.
this is a chance. Like you do have allies here who could put their finger on the scale. To make
Yeah.
And I'll give you guys a chance to do
Thank you.
that. It's like this is still a little bit in the quasi kind of
This many
flexible
lives I have.
initiative that we're still in.
Yeah,
I know, haven't even rolled.
seeing Quilla like seriously conjure up some powerful looking shit.
Yeah.
Absolutely, like
Bardic inspo?
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
Bardic inspiration.
Cool.
Yeah. So no counter spell then. Prepped.
Nope.
Fair
Just
enough,
gonna give
yeah.
that up. Okay.
Yep.
Wait.
What does that mean? On my attack or on my?
That's up
my
to you.
second
If
one?
you want
So
to use it
you're
to damage or
you,
attack.
You know that you just barely missed on the second attack. So this is a bardic inspiration that if you
Okay.
want to, you can.
Yeah,
choose
then
your
I'll
attack roll.
go ahead and get another
Yeah.
one in there. That was
You literally
a,
missed by 1, so you
Okay.
automatically
So
succeed
automatically,
as
okay.
soon as the inspiration is added.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's gonna be 16d12 damage.
Well, doubled.
Here.
Yeah, so it's
Have
12,
some
and then
more.
the
Okay.
12 from the crit, and then another 4 from the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's-
so
that's
that
I have D12. How many do you have?
I have 7,
7,
8,
9, 10, 11.
11,
Bag out has got to be done a little bit. There we go.
12,
Well, D12 all at
12,
once.
D12, and then I'll have to roll the other 4.
Oh, that's right.
Oh my
man.
god.
Oh my god.
All right, I need help.
All right, I got the calculator out.
Okay. 3 5, so 15, 16, 17, 18, because there's a 3.
Mhm.
And then plus 7? Plus.
So,
Oh, that's not
Wait.
It. That's not the right. die.
wait.
Sorry.
How do we do crits on the table?
12 times
Oh.
12 is 144.
We do max damage on our crits.
Plus what roll?
Oh gosh. Wow.
So you're gonna do max damage on your crit roll.
Okay. Sure,
then
I
you
probably
roll
need
the
to re-roll
4.
these. Okay.
So give me
Thank
my
you.
dice back. You don't need that many.
Yeah. Wait. Oh shit. Which ones were yours?
Is it just max damage?
Well, like normally, like with so.
Oh yeah, we changed that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
You're
with
right.
the spell, because like normally with like we do max damage
That
for the
one's
base
yours. Mhm.
attack, and
Sorry.
then we
That's
roll
true.
for
Yeah.
the extra.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So-
These ones are.
Yep.
One of these.
So
ones.
let me.
That
What's
one's
the
mine.
name of the spell? So we can just double
It's,
check.
yes,
the...
please do. Blade of Disaster.
144 damage in one roll.
144 damage plus.
Plus
Disaster 5.
Wait. Plus.
40, 12.
Plus
for now.
12 plus something else.
Maybe. He's still looking that part up.
Oh, that was a better roll.
So on hit 40, 12.
Can you
Yeah.
math
Attacks
me?
for the critical hit, the
10
number of
plus 9
d20
plus
is
9 plus
18 or higher.
10 plus 9.
It has a 3
Plus
die
9
crit range.
plus
Holy
what?
8.
moly.
It's a sweet
8.
spell.
Yeah.
An extra 8d12 for a total of 12d12. Okay. So
That's a bonus.
we'll say the 8, we'll do 8d12 at max, and then 8d12 on the roll.
Okay, that sounds good. So 8d12
96.
is 96 plus what I just told you plus another 4.
Wait, hold on.
Okay, hold on.
What was it at?
180.
Well, wait, hold on. 180 minus 140. 40
Holy-
plus 8 times 12 is 136.
So at 136.
We're at 136 right
We're at
now, and you're-
136 plus.
Plus.
Whoa!
I like that.
12, 11, 9, and 5.
173 points of damage.
Holy shit.
Level 9 spell.
That's a lot of math.
So I'm sorry, I was too distracted. The number was too big, and I lost track. How much? was it?
173 points.
173 points of damage. And this is what kind of damage?
Force?
I believe it's.
It's only immune. It's only resistant to non-magical.
Yeah, it's.
bludgeoning, piercing. So unless it's psychic
No, I believe it's force.
or fire, oh my god, yeah, that all rips.
Yeah, force damage for sure.
So this is the Arbinger of Ra in the heart and height of its power. It has nearly 500 hit points.
Oh my god.
You have taken like 2/5 of that in a single spell.
Wow.
Tell us, is like this thing like
Yeah.
seeds back into the rotten bark, and you can see this thing like moving beneath the skin of the tree, this like blob, like this spell like rips and exposes it. But tell us. Yeah.
So, like, these weird, like, blades cut through, and everywhere the blade, like, you see the movement of the blade by just this weird little void. But at the very edges of the void, you also see weird little, like, splashes of seawater and, like, you think maybe, like, a little bit of kelp or, like, something green. Like, almost, like, comes through the void as it just, like flicks the rot just, like, with annoying little, like stinging little flicks of kelp and seawater. Popping out of these weird little, like, gaps in existence.
That's fun.
Yeah. There's a moment where you cast a spell where you feel like the concentrated force of like the tides, the waters, the ocean's ability to weather away rock over millennia, just like focused into a single moment. And like that much force that can rip away, like can wipe away entire geological formations is applied to like this place. And it just tears through the tree, and you can see it exposes the Arbinger rot. You can see it just like spills across its brain matter that's like composes so much of this thing's like central body, and just like you see this vast like tear rip across it, and like gouts of like just greenish purplish fluids just like pour out as this thing quickly tries to like cauterize and like psychically like mend or like stymie the flow of those that essential fluids and life from this thing. You have done so much damage to this in a single turn. It looks out at you in this moment with its masked face on that like long neck, like stretches out and like looks at each of you on the ship, and its fear finds no purchase in any one of you. It finds itself unable to regenerate health as a result of that. And if a mask could show fear as it retreats back into the tree.
Screams at it, and you would have seen that while this was all happening, Kula slashed the Tidebringer's call as if it were a sword. And it's dripping wet in her hand.
You can see dripping with like the foam of ocean water, and still like also thick drops of whatever vital fluid you just tore from the Arbinger.
Splatters across the bow of the ship.
That was...
She brought the tide.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. It's
She was
great
really
when big
frustrated
plays
that she
pay
couldn't
off.
see the-
9th level spells.
God,
Not 20.
Yup.
Almost though.
that was
And that's the only time I get to cast it. So.
Very worth it. Just take an hour break.
Shit.
Yep.
Yeah, the thing retreats back into
Doesn't
the
count against
tree.
my spell spells.
Whatever it was preparing to spring on you, it has given up on, and it flees into the rot, into the tree itself. You guys have the Arbinger itself is presenting no threat, but the rot roots themselves are still flailing around. You need to make a certain check here to get into the tree unscathed. Otherwise, both Shippy and the crew can take damage from a great slap of a rot tentacle root.
Gotcha.
So go ahead as you guys make your final approach. Is there anything you want to say there?
Yes, I am going to bless Shippy, Gray, and Johan with the luck of the changing key.
Ooh.
Barrel.
That sounds
Is that
excellent.
guidance and bless?
What is
Well,
that?
yeah, it's just a spell bless. But coming from the Feywild.
Reskinned a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I cast Wall of Fire around our entrance point to like stave off some roots from
Make
getting
a
to
burning
us?
ring of fire that you
Yeah,
want to fall through?
I want to fall through the burning ring of
That's
fire.
good material.
I think you can fall through a burning ring of fire.
Just to like give us space from around our hole for the roots to go through.
Love that.
I think that is absolutely something you can do if you want to burn that spell. It'll definitely lower the DC for your approach to the protected space of the interior of these roots.
Let it be so.
Absolutely.
Are
So
we gonna fall in to that burning ring of fire?
We're going down, down, down.
The flames
the-
just get higher. Wow!
It might burn, burn, burn.
Some songs just write themselves.
that ring of fire.
Oh, there goes our trademark.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Absolutely. We make it so. Gray prepares the final rush of Shippy towards this now. Like you can see the roots have like opened a path for you. It is, again, potentially you could like plug Shippy into that hole, but like you're not going to get Shippy deep into the roots. And so you prepare that final approach. You, as I understand it, again, that you're telling Shippy just to ascend once you're out.
Let's roll out.
Awesome.
Okay, and after all that, Quilla's ready to jump with Gray.
Yeah, so position yourselves on the board. We can put these two as they shoot a final barrage of ballistas as they see the just like eruption of Aquila's violence against the Arbiter. They let out a cheer, shoot out a few ballista at some root rots, and then start rushing down below
Where's
deck.
the entrance? Like off the side of the ship or off the front?
The entrance?
I mean, like where we're trying to go.
Maybe we'll
to?
try and get the forks to like land on the tree wherever we can access it.
Yeah, so Shifty also like slopes towards the and the forks kind of come up. So yeah, you can definitely like disembark along the forks. It's a little bit
Okay,
treacherous, but
forks.
not super dangerous.
Okay.
Okay.
So if you want to do that, that would make
Yo.
sense.
Ray will wait at the helm until everyone's off, so we could give the command and then bail himself.
Okay. All right. So you guys make the final approach. Shippy begins collecting speed towards this like roiling boil of roots that are like burning away the rot on the outside and temporarily at least holding them at bay. And aiding that erupts a ring of fire around that ring, just burning away the rot as well. Go and give me another piloting check with advantage. Actually, no, I'm lowering the DC. That's right. So keep not advantage, but the DC has been lowered for your approach here. The
16,
stages.
25 minus 1, 24.
24. Okay, so you fly in. You like her roots coming in and tangling around you. They're going to make one last like prepared attack against you as you approach. One of these does hit. One of the roots like swings wildly around. You like swoop around and under it, and as you like approach the you're like just like in the last approach towards the opening where you like can't dodge anymore, and the last thing just like this like tentacle root just like slams down on the deck. It does. 31 points of damage to Shippy.
Damn.
And that like slams down here. Let me see around the section. It slams down here around the helm. So anybody around the helm needs to make a dexterity saving throw. And you again with disadvantage as you pilot.
Oof, 16, 15.
That fails.
Oof.
Anybody else back
wait, I
here
got
on the
my-
quarter
You
deck?
have your bless.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have no idea where I am.
You're gonna need to roll.
On the
17.
quarter deck.
17. 17. Not that one, but this one.
Also, I failed.
17. No, that's not it. That just fails.
Oh,
Damn.
I don't know why my bird's back here,
Did
but
you use that bardic inspiration
apparently
that I
back there.
gave you?
no.
Because I'm gonna do that
Plus 3.
for myself.
Yay!
And that's
Excellent.
well. Let me make sure I can actually do that.
So people who failed are going to take half the damage that Shippy took. So that'd be 15 damage this round.
Okay.
It's going to slap down on the deck. It tries to grapple Shippy, but with your piloting check, you just like twist and roll Shippy out of its grasp, and gets to this like cool barrel roll, and then continue on.
Do a barrel roll.
the roots.
Do a kickflip.
Kickflip.
Sick. 15 points of damage.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna pull his shield out while he's piloting.
Just have it on.
Yep. From here on out, Gray's holding a shield. He has duct tape it to his arm. Which is just like leeches, like daisy chaining around each other.
It's a fun shield.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else as you guys make your approach here with everything you've done and forcing the Arminger to flee? That's all the defenses left here as you leave behind a like still like some lingering explosions of this like great like chain reaction you set off in the distance behind you, still erupting as you like fly down in. Shippy, like you can see one of the roots like comes up and like you twist Shippy around, the blades just go and like lop off a section of the root, and you like slam Shippy into connection to this opening. You see the fire now is all around you guys, like going up like 20 feet off the surface of the tree, and you guys have this clear area to disembark.
I think as we disembark, the blades are still like sort of just like you see little like flicks of void like appearing and disappearing, and you get just like a big salty breeze comes through, fresh air. Just feel like you smell the ocean for a second instead of rock.
The Hero's Feast protects you from the poison, but there's like some amount of just like you get accustomed to the toxic, awful smell. But there's just this sudden relief, and you guys have like this like, oh yeah, it smells terrible here. That's right.
It's almost worse because it's like, oh god, I've been reminded of how bad this actually is.
Mark, I think I would have linked Shippy in with our
Telepathic bond.
telepathic
Sure.
arteries. So I'll just tell Shippy, let me know when you're above the cloud of poison.
You got it. I'll check in once I'm safe.
Okay.
Also, can't we tell what's her face to get to Shippy? So
I'll also check in if I think that we're all gonna die.
Sounds good. Or if you're gonna die.
If I die, everybody inside me will die as they plummet. It'll just take a little while longer.
Good to know ahead of time, thanks.
I actually think that ellipses can fly.
He's never tried it, but he can cast a spell. So if he could attempt it, he could hijack Shippy and fly off with it.
No, I mean, I think he can. I thought he could fly.
Oh,
Like,
Oh,
But
maybe
you
I-
actually had him do it before?
I can't.
no, not
remember.
like fly Shippy, but fly himself.
Oh, yeah. Fly himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does have wings. It's true.
Yeah, he's the flying owlbear.
That's right.
Alright, so he'll have to like pick up Shippy and
No,
Ellipses will have to make a choice about which of the crew he'll
Yeah.
save.
Yeah.
Fly to the ground somewhere far away.
Just
dear
one more
God, make
was
me a bird so I can
tormented
fly far. Go far away.
I still feel like Ellipse is going to come back to fight him.
I'll say that all of you with all these efforts and with the Arbinger hidden now, you guys see like the roots are like slamming against the tree itself as they like blindly flail trying to dislodge you all. But Shippy has like plunged the forks into the rot itself and into the roots, so you guys have like you don't even have to like hardly make a jump, but it will require just a low DC athletics check from each of you, as you unless you have some other way of traversing this gap. Xerox, you can jump fly, so you just jump fly. You can automatically succeed. Oh wait, that's on raging. That's right. Yeah, so go ahead and make that check as well.
How low are we talking?
how far down is it, Mark?
How far down is what?
How far is it for us to get off of Shippy?
It's either like you climb down Shippy's prow like 10 feet to like walk across the blades, or you just jump from the prow into the tree roots themselves. Either case, it's going to come down to a pretty similar roll here. But yeah, just let me know like how you're making the transition, and if you rolled lower than a 10.
I rolled
Don't
one.
trust my athletics, so I am just going to Misty Step. Yeah.
Smart. That's the wizard's way. Oh, that looks a bit difficult.
Gray jumps a hold of Xerox and then rolls an 18 for holding on to Xerox.
Excellent.
15.
15. Yeah, you just like one step on the prow of the ship and just jump on into the ring of fire and into the tree itself.
Yeah, I think as I start to fall, I panic, Misty step
All right.
away to safety.
Yeah.
I start running to take my jump, and then realize that my stride's a little off, and I'm gonna miss. And then I go, "You got to step this way," and then I use my flash of genius to make it double jump.
After rolling tons of 30s and 34s,
You know.
we can't stop.
He stumped us with the chair again.
God, like rolls on, so like just a 10, just jumping across the most
Yeah.
basic gap here. Everybody dies.
Johan
Falls to
knows.
the rock, you can sing about that.
Johan knows the end of the performance is where a lot of mistakes can be made. So nothing flashy, just a simple like hop off.
Yeah, stick with just now.
Oh, excellent. Very good. I need to use the restroom again real quick.
Unacceptable.
We're at 8:30 right now.
More than enough time to kill it.
Yeah. So we'll take a quick break and then we'll get back into your descent into the inside the tree itself.
Excellent.
Exciting.
Nobody's
Holy
going to die.
173.
Awesome.
Wild.
You know, it doesn't always work, but when it does.
That's a crazy ass spell.
That is. I want that one.
Yeah.
And it's concentration and I still have it up.
Woo!
Oh.
Can I move it?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Wow.
God.
Fuck that rot.
I kept wanting to cast the spell where I could make like a 20-foot area of ground to like attack everything around it.
You did that once.
Yeah, Wrath of Nature.
Yeah.
That's pretty badass. But this wasn't a really great
So now we're in the tree, so.
But I also got Speak with Animals, Speak with Plants. So that's a must.
It's a must.
That's the
You
first
could-
thing I do when I jump down there. Talking to
Talk to me, tree.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Let's have a heart to heart.
Tell me your name.
Oh man, I'm so glad I could be here in person. I was gonna work yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and I woke up to my alarm, and I'm like, I don't really use PTO for anything. I don't need to be here. It's Thanksgiving. It's time to spend time with family and friends.
Yeah.
I'd feel too tired if I had to drive to work yesterday and work all day. So I'm like, screw it. I'm taking the day off. I'm like, meet in person.
Yes. For good reason, too.
Yeah. For a big bad fight.
The best, big, baddest, we haddest. Oh man, if we kill this thing very fast, I'm gonna be very happy.
Just a few more ninth level spells want to do it.
Done.
Yeah, everybody has a nice little spell, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, could you just keep cast that like 3 more times? That'd be great.
I mean,
It's a cantrip, right?
it is still up.
What's the highest level of Artificer gets?
would be quite
Five?
Surprising if I rolled.
5 or 6? They're half casters. I think there's a
no
thing,
way I'm
but
gonna get a crit on it again, though. So.
not that high. But that's okay.
I think we also have a wish at our disposal.
We do. Got a wish.
You can wish it into the netherworld.
Yeah, this spell is a little ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, it is all contingent on actually making bits.
Mm-hmm.
Spell attacks, yeah. That crit range thing is super cool.
Yeah, the crit range is fun. And the fact that if you can maintain concentration, you can use it.
Again.
Yeah, it lasts for a minute and you just keep moving it like a spiritual weapon.
Move it up to 30 feet. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's basically like
Cosmic,
a
yeah.
very vicious spiritual weapon.
Spiritual chainsaw.
Yeah.
I like the idea of a spiritual chainsaw.
Spiritual chainsaw made of kelp.
Mm.
Slap, 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 slap.
Or maybe shells. We'll say it's
There we go. I was like, I've seen this anime before. I don't.
Sharp
It becomes
coral.
more insulting, but
There was some shark that had some like spiral chin of like teeth. I don't know if you could use that like a chainsaw.
Stop that.
Are we all back? Just like real life.
Sarah?
I always forget to take notes when big things happen.
It's very challenging to tear yourself away from the emotion of the game.
I have 5 notes. Xerox becomes Van Patten. We fly to the trunk, encounter Harbinger of Rot. Quilla fucked it up. We enter the tree.
Broad strokes. Broad strokes.
Get the-
2.5 hours of gameplay in 5 sentences.
It's a skill. Not everybody has it.
There was a lot of cool shit that's not included in that.
I hear her.
I think we're here.
Looks like Jared's here.
Sarah's here.
It's here. Cool.
Physical
Alright.
space people are here.
Evan's here.
Oscar's here.
Yay, Oscar!
I'll skin it up.
No more Nora.
Sounds so good right now. Didn't bring enough for the class, Jared.
I'll be the hero if I come home with pizza tonight.
9 o'clock.
I'm going to Josh's house.
Yeah, right.
It's just right down the street.
Yeah, D&D after dark.
D&D after dark, yes. Let's get this podcast off the ground.
Like, all right, everybody, we're recording from on the road today. So all these variations in sound quality today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Beautiful.
I'm ready.
What a peak.
I know, right? Like Golden Peak.
Nice peak you got there.
Even better. Valley.
So, with Shippy having slammed into the rock of the tree and the roots within, you guys went up another disembark quickly, some more gracefully than others, some with a little bit of arcane assistance, but you all, one by one, arcane grace, yes, ascend or like attain like landing in the interior of the tree, where it seems that whatever seal heart of the tree, whatever sealed heart of the tree that's been there unspoiled for thousands of years while under attack by the rot, has created an opening for you. In Gray, you know that this has created for the tree itself a great vulnerability. And as I said before, the time frame of the tree's ultimate destruction and the seed's loss has changed from like years or decades to hours and days, potentially at the very highest extent. You know that at this point, as you guys begin like traversing into this through this tunnel of winding roots that just like create the walls around you, that seem to be like growing even as you descend deeper into the tree, that the tree's fate will be decided soon, one way or the other. That you, by venturing in here, have set that timetable to the immediate future. And even as the roots close behind you and the light of that ring of fire is extinguished, you can hear the bombardment of all of those aerial mines now coming to assault the tree itself. and you can hear first just like raindrops on a roof, like just these like intermittent, like just like small explosions, and it came from boom, with one of these immense clusters of rock bombs has come to try and detonate itself on the tree's exterior. The outer shell of true heartwood still preserving whatever lays ahead of you. You guys have, and I say that, yeah, you guys, some of you at least have dark vision, so you can see as you guys as the roots close around you, behind you, you can see through that dark vision that sealed exterior is already beginning to leak. And as like detonation after detonation erupts on the surface of the tree, the exterior that's protecting you now, as well as the seed farther in, the rot is already beginning to break those outer layers and is beginning to seep through with all the force of this ocean of rot. And all of its focus now changed from, or refocused, all its attention refocused from expansion and growth, expanding the rot ocean. It has focused its entire intent on breaking what remains of the defenses of this tree and penetrating into where its seed is and where it knows that Gray is trying to reach. All that say, if you take a long rest, you're probably fucked.
So we can take a short rest, is what you're saying.
That is within the realm of possibility, but you may first want to reach your destination before you make that decision.
As we retreat into the tree, Quill kind of wants to stay near that entrance and keep the Blade of Disaster going.
Yeah.
It says that I can move the blade up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space that I can see. If I see like where it's leaking, can I put the blade like right at that entrance? Yeah. Or even as it's closing up, can I get the blade like just on the outside to do its thing?
Yeah, it like it says it can like even pass through materials and like walls of force and stuff. So like you like pull it in behind you, and then as you see like leaks begin to spring in the roots, you like push it out then into the surface,
like through the leaks,
and it's just like it's just churning and like cutting the rot as it like approaches and tries to break.
Like, I just want to stay within sight of the exterior there to sort of be that defense.
I'll say that you can linger there for a moment, but this is going to be a minute's long journey into the deeper into the tree. So unless you want to remain here alone and separate yourself from the group, you'll have to like linger and then catch up or something. But like staying here for a minute is going to help, but it's not
like the long scope of things. Yeah. I'll stay for like probably 3 rounds and try to like fight it off, and like especially if I see any legs of the like Harbinger, try to crawl through like very intently aiming at that, but anything that comes through, just like trying to use the blade at that entrance for as long as possible, or as long as I feel hopeful.
Yeah, and I absolutely, like this thing is just like churning through like the rot that's approaching. Like they're still like sending in like the bombs and stuff, but like you can imagine like you can almost sense through the magic, like the rot roots are like trying to like wheedle their way in, like tear apart the entrance here, and your magic is just out there just like churning through it like a blender as they approach. It's just like just burning through it, tearing through it. Absolutely, like this spell is so powerful that like it is 100% just churning through this shit, and like it's definitely slowing the it's a violation of the border here created by the root or by the tree. But yeah, you you feel the spell kind of reaching its end, like like you can sit here for another little while, but you see your party descend deeper and deeper. And eventually you have to kind of catch up.
Follow trail of snail, and Gray drops like snails along his way.
All the snails are like following after you. They're like trying to catch up back up to Gray. So attached are they to Gray, and it's a constant source of like fungal food and stuff.
Knowing that this is a Gray space, as Quilla runs to catch up, she'll pick up the snails.
Peep Boop's gonna light a torch so we can see.
Yeah. Yeah. Who does have great dark vision?
Gray puts his wolf
Me.
helmet on.
Nice.
I have dark vision.
So it's really just for your benefit.
Yep.
To light a torch. You guys see that with the through your dark vision, and your vision certainly enhanced with the addition of light, even though the dark vision. But you see as you progress deeper down through this root tunnel, you can see those roots like flexing and twisting and trying to like continually like not only just create the space you're progressing through, but are constantly like twisting and reforming as you can imagine they are being like consumed by the rot outside. The passage you're traversing through, you get this like uncomfortable sensation that if you're not successful here, getting out of this rot will be extraordinarily difficult. As you go deeper and deeper into this bubble of safe tree heart at the center of this ocean of rot. And as you descend, more and more, you can almost feel the pressure of tens and dozens of feet of this rot ocean now above you as you get deeper into this like heart of the roots beneath the stump.
Question. Do I think it's more than 500 feet underneath the tree?
You're probably, I mean, the tree itself, you might get close to that, like underneath like the highest point of the tree, but you're certainly not that deep beneath like sea level
Okay.
of the rock. You're probably like within a couple 100 feet of the surface at most.
Okay.
She's got away out.
Dimension door is an option for 2 of us.
He suckers!
Good luck.
Don't worry, I can get us out of here.
That's good. But
The tunnel of these roots that seem to be growing ahead of you winds and wends its way deeper into the tree. And eventually, Gray, you come to a dead end. And you can sense a deep familiarity on the other side of the wall ahead of you, this tightly knotted wall of roots. This is the last bastion of this tree's defense for the seed itself. Once you pass this point, you will have made vulnerable the very heart of this. If you do wish to take a short rest, this would be the time to do it, you think? Because you know that like if you can wait here and take a short rest and then try to go in, or you can go in but like once you open this up, similar to like opening the outer layer, this is even more a weakening of the defenses that the Great Seed has.
keep our time, save our time.
Yeah.
We're already fighting on the outside.
Here we go.
Do what we can to protect the inner tree.
Okay.
Yep.
Agreed.
How's Shippy doing?
Shippy is going up, you expect. Shippy has not reported that it is dying yet, so
Okay.
it's still ascending somewhere.
I'm just concentrating on that bluff so that they can get up
Get,
better.
get Shippy
But
there.
I really would like to use my concentration for something else.
Yeah, okay. Let me make a note as well that you are concentrating on that. So, Shippy, or not Shippy, you're Gray right now. Gray, you see this wall in front of you, this wall of root and tree, and you step forward and like you just like put your hand out on this one of the tangled knots of root, and again, just as before, your vision changes. And again, you can see the great height of the tree in its ancient glory. its full stature. And you can see this mottled fruit having detached itself from the tree, floating off into space. You see this other pale fruit that is still ripening on the branch. And you can see something or feel something. In this moment, you feel a deep connection to the tree as if you are reliving a memory of it. It had just given another of its children to space beyond the world, another world to grow and to find life. Has yet another one still growing on the vine, or on the branch. And as you feel all this, as the tree, you feel the light of the sun coming into your leaves. You feel that nourishing you. You feel the connection of that nourishment to that which is coming from below, where your roots are nestled deep within the earth, around a source of creation and energy in its own right, a heat in the world, one that's been there as long as this tree has lived. And you feel that nourishment from the star above, this great flame, and the heat from below, and you take in that energy, and you feel you putting that not only into yourself, but into the world, as your roots expand and extend like a network around the entire world, around the surface and below the oceans. You feel some of that energy also being pushed into this fruit. And Gray, you see that fruit still growing on the world tree, and you recognize the moon.
Mm-hmm.
A planet, a world still being developed, still being grown. And you feel this process, this cultivation of energy from above, this relationship, this pushing of some of that light into the world and the reception of some of the warmth from deep below. All this feels right and natural to you as Gray, as the tree, till you see something. Like a comet streaking through the sky, but not through the sky, but through the earth itself. But not really through the earth, because it's coming from within and without. Something has torn and broken, and from that tear, something streaks through reality. And you see Gray, something so similar to what you had seen recently. When you saw the Samsarans' connection to a cosmic beyond, a horror, a vast ocean of rot, something more expansive than the universe, a sea of this rot, and a single drop of it manifesting, congealing, falling down that connection that the Samsarans had made. And similarly, there is a great tear here, and a single great drop of this rot, the first of it to ever touch your world, a memory of that great tree when it was first corrupted. Like a comet again, streaking through the sky, but through the earth, through material, through the world. Your mind struggles to comprehend a breaking of reality and visualize it. And you can only comprehend it in the way of a single drop of that ocean congealing and falling to the world amongst the roots of the tree, and a rot beginning to grow and to spoil the world. You remember this. Like there's a strange memory of this happening to you as the tree, but you also have this memory of being Gray and all that Gray has learned, and you know that the gods themselves in their ancient conflicts broke the world in such a way that rendered this, that made this fissure, that allowed the rot to first spill forth into the world, and they didn't even know initially. And it sat and it festered. And it began to consume the energy of the tree, and it could no longer grow the world that the moon would become. And as the tree began to consume itself, to harden its heart, to create a safe space for the seed, for a new generation of the tree to be born, the moon withers and breaks from the tree and is released into space, into its orbit around the world. The tree itself begins to rot and wither and devour itself as the rot consumes it, and it focuses all of its energy on creating a hardened, secret space safe from the rot, waiting for that seed to be given life again, a chance for it to be born again. Your vision returns to your body, and the wall, the knotted roots unwind themselves and pull back, and you can see the very heart of the tree. In the center of this great chamber, a towering bellstone crystal. And in the center of it, you can see a seed split open with just the tiniest tendril of growth coming out of it.
Oh, how far away is it?
About 60 feet away from you. It's inside this chamber, inside the heart of this towering bellstone crystal.
I'm going to try and get to within 30 feet of it and cast Speak with Plants on it.
The sapling, as you approach, you can see as you cast that magic, it grows a little bit more. You can see tiny little tendrils are growing off of, like tiniest little like buds of what will be a leaf. It seems to respond to the magic in your presence. And I think we'll start off next week with Gray talking to the World Tree Seed.
I mean, I know we didn't see it, but which moon came off of the tree?
Luna.
Okay.
The normal good moon.
It looks like tuna. Right. The whole time you were describing the sun, all I could think of was Zika So being